everybody, and welcome to the show from Common Room Radio. I'm Sarah Kate Bazant.
I'm Alistair Stevens.
And I'm Vinton Bain.
And we're doing the MCU commentary-a-thon. We don't have like a fun, cool name for it.
No, that can be a work in progress over the course of the next,
we're gonna workshop
35 weeks or however long it's going to take us to get through this series.
I'm super duper excited about this. This was an idea that was tossed our general way on Twitter, and we'd already been kind of chatting about it a little bit, and I am so thrilled that this is happening. In case you don't know, we are going to be doing commentary tracks for every single MCU film leading up to Avengers Infinity War, which comes out in May. It's currently January. I am so excited. I haven't watched a lot of these movies since they came out. Not counting, of course, Avengers and Age of Ultron and Civil War because my girl's in there.
Those are your movies.
Those are my movies, yeah.
Right.
And so I'm really, really excited, and I think that we're going to have a ton of fun. And this is just, oh man, I cannot. It's very early in the morning, and I'm not yet very good at expressing myself. Hopefully that will continue forth. I'm literally in my pajamas sitting down in front of this microphone.
It's perfect. So listeners at home, go put on your pajamas, go snuggle up, go pour some coffee, and watch Iron Man with us.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast. Over the course of the next few months, we are going to talk about, in order, this is the big list. Are you ready? Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, no, really, Ant-Man, Captain America, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Thor, Ragnarok, and then we're going to talk about Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
It's going to be pretty good, and I'm sure we'll do a commentary track for that when it comes out on Blu-ray.
And Black Panther when it comes out.
And Black Panther, we're going to talk about that too. Unfortunately, we won't have the Black Panther Blu-rays before the end of this commentary series.
So that's going to be just a regular episode and not a commentary track.
We're setting a precedent now, though.
Exactly.
I think this is just how things are going to go for the course of the next, 50 years of our lives. Are we buckled up? We're ready for that?
I'm into it.
Okay, so we are queued up here with the 2008 Iron Man movie directed by Jon Favreau. We are looking at the Paramount logo. You should also be looking at the Paramount logo. When I say play, you hit play. This is a commentary track, so it's also going to be a little more rough and ready than we're usually used to because we can't edit these things. It's going to be just fine. When I say play, you hit play. We'll watch the movie together. 3, 2, 1, play.
I was hoping there was going to be a call and response. When I say play, you say
Iron Man.
Tony Stank.
Tony Stank, the Ironest Man.
Oh, look at this original Marvel logo. This is precious. Oh my gosh. They hadn't yet done the thing where it like transmogrified into like metal.
I do like the flipping page sound.
Yes.
2008, though, you guys were 20 years old.
Yes.
I was 30 years old.
Yes.
Yes, a decade ago when we first
It is
watched
Oh
this
my
film.
God. It's been a
officially.
decade. Holy
Wow.
hell.
Yeah,
Since
it's
2008.
been a long time coming. This, though, is... God, what a
God,
good
what
intro.
a
What
good
a good
opening.
intro. This remains one of my favorite Marvel movies. It doesn't quite break my top 3 because Cap is my guy. I'm really looking forward to talking about those films, but this was a knockout. This blew off my socks the first time that I saw it. I did not expect anything like this from Marvel, honestly, and certainly not from Iron Man.
To be fair, this was not an expected thing. I never thought out of any of the Marvel properties that Iron Man would be the movie that I would be like, yeah, this is the best Marvel movie up to this point.
Yeah, best superhero movie to this point,
definitely,
right?
best superhero movie. It blew my mind. I never cared about Tony Stark and Iron Man in the comics growing up, but they changed my mind on all that. They changed everyone's mind on all
It's
of
true,
that,
yeah.
actually.
I had never even like heard of Iron Man prior to the release of this film, and it's so wild now to think that, you know, Iron Man was a D-list character at the time because Marvel didn't
D-list might be too much.
D-list is probably
C-list,
overstating
maybe?
it a little bit. Solid B-list.
Okay,
Yeah.
like lower B though.
Well, you know, he was always associated with the Avengers. The Avengers
Sure.
was the B-tier book or the B-tier series for Marvel at the time because, you know, they weren't X-Men, which they had previously sold the rights to, and he wasn't, you know, Spider-Man,
Right.
to which Marvel had also previously sold the rights. So he was what was left. Iron Man, the best of what was left. This was a great Hail Mary move from Marvel. This was really their proof of concept that they could make a superhero movie because they'd sold off the rights to the X-Men, because they'd sold off the rights to Spider-Man. This was the gamble, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
All that has finally changed
Yeah.
this year.
I don't remember seeing this movie quite as much. I do definitely remember seeing Iron Man 2 in theaters because that is when we got introduced to Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff.
Yes.
And I remember having a lot of feelings walking out of the theater.
This is such a great intro to Tony Stark as a character and intro to our core conflict here at the heart of the story. I love this opening. It's
His
so
hair
good.
is so floppy still.
He does have really floppy hair.
He's so
I do
young.
like that we get right away, right off the bat, Robert Downey Jr.'s humor for the character of Tony Stark. It sets up exactly who he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And sets up that he's kind of an awful human being.
Yes.
We could talk structurally about this flashback structure that we get. This is our inciting incident right now. This is Tony under assault in Afghanistan, but we're going to flash back to see how he got here because we
Yes.
have to do that in an origin story, I guess.
Yes.
This is one of the things that excites me most about Iron Man is that it is a really strong origin story, like Spider-Man Homecoming. It is an origin story that is less interested in how he gets his powers.
I love the look at the logo. That's my bomb.
I made that bomb.
Good
Oh,
look,
no.
though.
Also, that technology. Did you see that little flip phone?
Yeah,
The-
yeah.
I guess
Oh my
the
gosh.
spin phone?
He
I'm not
was
sure what to call it.
always Tony Stark.
We
He was
have
Iron
yet
Man
to
before
do
he was the
our
Iron Man.
like see-through UI cell phones and things like that. Oh, good thing you were wearing some sort of crazy vest.
Well, it would be
I mean, it
great
didn't really help.
if that wasn't a Stark Tech weapon.
True.
He probably would have been fine.
Oh man. Okay,
Can we
Robert
talk about
Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
is
Jr.?
so attractive. Yeah, I'm so glad that we both got there at the same instant. Like, just what a good-looking man.
This is Miracle Marvel casting. This is the first
Yes.
incident of Miracle Marvel casting. Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. is 100% Tony Stark. That has been retconned through the comics now. He is the guy in exactly the same way that a few years from now, in our personal timeline, Chris Evans will become Captain America.
Yes.
It's just going to happen.
It's just fantastic casting. That's something you just don't see in enough superhero movies. Is
No.
perfect
I
casting.
agree. Yeah.
Ah, these pictures are so good. Wait, that's
Wait,
not Howard
that's
Stark.
not.
Good Bill Gates picture, like that cameo there.
Is that
So
Uncle
who-
Stark? That's Uncle Stark, probably.
Yeah. So who is playing his dad in this movie? Is it still John Slattery?
No, I don't remember that guy's name. Let me
we're
look
gonna
him
have to-
up.
Yeah, you guys
Get-
check that
get
out
out the
really
old
quick.
phones
yes,
real
yes,
quick.
yes.
But yeah, we'll have a couple of different people because we get John Slattery playing Howard Stark. Of course, we get Dominic Cooper playing Howard Stark too.
I love Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark. I love Agent Carter the series. I love Peggy Carter as a human person and an icon and you know, just everything I want to be when I grow up. Oh my god, am I now older than Peggy was in Captain America First Avenger and also the Agent Carter series? I think I am.
Yeah, I think you must be. What? Yeah, I think so. Well, you know, it was a different time. People aged faster during the war.
Is that what happened? I mean, I
sure.
suppose
I have
that's
no
fair,
idea. Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Hey, look, that's not Don Cheadle.
No, but it is James Rhodey Rhodes. I like him a lot. I
Sir,
like him
only
a lot.
appearing in this film.
Yes, sir, only appearing in this film.
I also quite like Terrence Howard. I like him.
No,
quite
I
a
like
bit,
Terrence
yeah.
Howard a lot. I can understand why he didn't necessarily want to be associated with the whole MCU ongoing
Now,
project.
why was that?
I think he was just a serious actor, and
That's
in
fair.
2008 things were a little different. Don Cheadle though does give for me the definitive War Machine Rhodey performance. though. I
Oh,
like
sure,
him a lot,
absolutely.
yeah. And there's Obadiah.
Obadiah Stane.
Not a great name.
I feel like it's a pretty good like villain name.
A
Well-
villain name, perhaps, but just in general, not the best name. But you know, I'm really glad to have Jeff Bridges in the MCU.
Yeah, no, me too.
I wish he could, you know, dude it up a bit, but not in character.
You mean
I
like
guess.
they put just the Big Lebowski in the
Yeah,
Iron Man movie?
yeah.
I almost said Tony Man.
I wish Obadiah
It's
was
still
holding a
early
bowling
game.
Tony
ball.
Man, yeah.
Tony Man.
Tony Man. When he's
Or-
bitten by a
or
radioactive
Cardinal.
Tony and gets all the powers, the proportional strength of a Tony.
Look at Tony. It's not because he's out in the war. It's because
Oh.
he's gambling.
And there's Jon Favreau, the director of this movie, playing
he
Happy
is.
Hogan. Wow,
Happy
also
Hogan.
looking very young. Very young
Everyone
in this
looks
movie.
like babies.
Well, you know, they've been through a lot.
It's true.
Sokovia.
Yeah, jeez.
Happy's trying to get a raise.
Yep.
Wants a new position, as we find out in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
So the history of the Iron Man movie is absolutely fascinating. It starts in 1990 when Universal brought the rights to develop an Iron Man movie with Stuart
What?
Gordon as a director. That came to nothing, of course. By February of 1996, 20th Century Fox bought the rights. And then in 1997, they were going to make a movie with one Nicolas Cage starring as Tony Stark.
What is it about people wanting to put Nicolas Cage into their superhero
What is it
films?
with people failing to put Nicolas Cage into their superhero movies? Ghost Rider, we're not even talking about yet.
Well, I mean, like that I understand. At least he just gave away his award. God, Tony Stark, you are so cool.
You know, eventually we're going to have to just do like a run of commentaries on bad superhero movies.
I like that idea very much. Yeah, yeah.
That can be, instead of Bat Month this year, we can do
Bad
Bad
Month?
Month.
Oh, that's
I feel
so
like
good.
it's so bad, it's spooky, which is why we do it in October.
It'll make you question your life choices.
The Merchant of Death is a pretty good nickname.
I feel like that's probably an Easter egg that I don't
Is it really?
know. I don't know.
Why don't you go ahead and look that up
Oh,
real
actually,
quick?
yeah, no, that has the ring of it. I think you're
While
right
I
there,
stare
yeah.
at this beautiful blonde woman.
So in
interviewing
1997,
Tony Stark.
Nicolas Cage was going to play Tony Stark. By September of 1998, he had been replaced by one Tom Cruise. Then there was a Stan Lee, Jeff Vinter Iron Man story that was developed for Fox that was going to feature MODOK as the villain, but we haven't yet had MODOK in the MCU.
I would very much like MODOK to be in the MCU, especially if he's in his
MODOK
normal floating chair.
Is a brain in a jar sort of thing?
No, he's a dude in a hover chair. He's the mental organism designed only for killing.
Yeah, no, he's that guy. He's like on the covers of Gwenpool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
he's
all
got
of them, but
little
a
tiny,
cover of
little
Gwenpool.
tiny
Weird
limbs.
choice.
Gwenpool and her
featuring
buddy
MODOK.
MODOK.
Look at those little limbs and that giant head.
I hate him. Oh, hey.
Oh, here it goes.
Wow, they're
You hear
doing
that
sex
James
ads.
Bond ass
yeah.
music cue in
This
the background
is
too?
so unromantic. Jeez,
Is
guys.
this how you do it when
I don't think
you're,
they're aiming
when you're
for
a rich
romance here,
bachelor?
I don't. Well, I mean, it
Oh,
just didn't look
And
comfortable at all.
here's our introduction to Jarvis, Mr.
Yeah.
Paul Bettany, literally phoning in his performance here.
Yeah, who has never seen this film. Up until that trivia was available on IMDb, he had never seen this film and has no idea what the plot is. Said it was the easiest job, like a robbery. He worked for 2 hours, got paid a lot of money, and went on vacation with his wife.
Aw,
Like,
that's so sweet.
but he's been in all of the other movies. Surely he went back and watched this at some point, right?
I got to hang out on a beach that was right by where they filmed this.
Oh,
way.
wow.
Yeah, one of our friends.
Very cool.
Vinton, you have the coolest life.
Usagi pointed that out to me when we were at the beach. She was like, actually, they put Tony Stark's house over there digitally.
Oh, that's so
gosh.
good.
So this is his very nice house.
It is a fantastic. I mean, it's a fantastic house in that perfect
Tony
sleazy,
Stark
douchey
way, yeah.
bachelor pad kind
Yes,
of
yes.
mode. Yes.
Do you think
What
she
is
was
this
like?
chick's name? Christine?
Yes.
Do you think that was like a direction for her to like
Oh.
bite her thumb that way? And John Favreau was like, "All right, now just a little sexier." Okay, yeah, you got it. You got it. Okay, nailed it.
Hey, look, it's Gwyneth Paltrow, who I quite like in this film and don't particularly care about her real life philosophies, but we don't need to talk about that.
John Favreau, by all accounts, takes a very hands-off approach with the actors. His philosophy has always been: you hire the best actors for the role, and then let them. Oh, what's the word for it? Act.
Yeah.
He doesn't
like that.
generally,
Good.
you know,
No, I'm into that.
manage the actors, which is why there was a formal shooting script for this movie, but a lot of the dialogue is improvised around it.
I'm sorry, I forgot Suicidal Tendencies is on the soundtrack to Iron Man.
Great soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. Yeah.
I guess it has been a while since I've watched this. Oh,
So
Tony
Jean
would listen
Favreau
to
was
this.
finally hired to produce this movie, to direct this movie in 2006. He went on a diet and lost 70 pounds. That's why he's looking a little slimmed down in the
Okay.
first Iron Man movie, because he
Okay.
lost 70 pounds.
Wow.
Both
That'll
to
do
play
it.
Happy Hogan and, interestingly, to direct the movie. They were concerned that this would be a very physically demanding shoot for the
Sure.
director. So he lost all of that weight. He wanted to work with Avi Arad from Marvel after working together on the Daredevil movie, which would definitely be a candidate for Bad Month, now that I think
Yes,
about it.
yes.
I don't hate that movie. Actually, I don't hate the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. But
Do we have to watch Elektra too?
which
I like
there's-
Michael Clark Duncan.
there's no
That
reason to
says a
watch
thing.
the
I like
Electra
the suit. I love
Electra
the
movie is
Daredevil
really
suit.
good. The
and
Daredevil
movie.
suit looks great,
That's
yes.
as much as I can say for Daredevil in that movie. It's funny to me
God.
that
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
You go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, thank you. I love the banter specifically
Yes,
in the
yes.
Iron Man films. I love anytime Robert Downey Jr. in all of these movies, the banter is so down pat. And of course, like I am so trained to like hear that and love that and be
Yeah.
aware of that because I was raised on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Of course,
and so
yeah.
like, you know,
no, it's got some of that. It kind of has that 60s sex comedy, like Pillow Talk, Doris Day, Rock Hudson kind
Sure.
of interplay
I don't know what
to
any
it.
of those things
A
are,
lot
but
of
I
that.
believe
Oh,
you.
we should watch Pillow Talk. I think you'd really like it.
Okay.
We watched Pillow Talk first, then we watched Down with Love, which is one of my favorite movies
Excellent.
because they both, play with that form rather beautifully. But yeah, the intimacy between these two, the naturalism in their conversation, I think a lot of it is RDJ. I think a
Mm-hmm. It
lot
really
of this
is,
movie is
and-
just his natural charm.
so much of
Yeah.
this movie is improv
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you wouldn't even believe it if it was shown to you. There's
Right.
basically no script to this
And
film.
it seems like he just has really excellent chemistry with everybody that he works with, which I also absolutely adore. Like later on when we see him interacting with Chris Evans,
Yeah.
those are some of my favorite scenes. And I don't know, I love any time RDJ is on screen and just doing the thing that he's doing. And it just fills me with so much joy.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the MCU just would not be what it is today
Good
without Robert Downey
jacket,
Jr.
Tony. That's a good look. I think Suit Stark is my favorite Stark. Not Iron Man suit, but just like Shark Suit
Three-piece
Stark
suit,
is my
yeah.
favorite. But that's a good look too.
So what were you going to say a few minutes ago, Vinton?
It's a good question. I think I was going to say that it's really surprising to me that before, it took 30 years to even talk about an Iron Man movie from the time that Iron Man first appeared in Tales of Suspense in 1963. And then it took 45 years to actually make one.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, to think that, we had Spider-Man, we had Captain America TV shows and really bad ones.
Yep,
to be
sure.
fair, really bad
Yes.
ones. But Iron Man really wasn't on the docket for many things like that. Even animated, he had a couple series, but they were not like the big ones. They were not X-Men, Spider-Man level, or even Avengers level. And then all of a sudden he became this runaway hit with this film that really blew it out of the water. It did a great job at just introducing this character and pushing forward this idea of the MCU and launching it off. And like I said a moment ago, I think the MCU would not be what it is now without Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think that, do we have like Jon Favreau and RDJ to thank for the MCU as it is today?
For the success of the MCU, certainly, yeah. If this movie had failed, if this movie had faltered, if this had been another Daredevil, then we wouldn't have the modern MCU. Even the Incredible Hulk movie that we're going to talk about next week,
Which, that's going to be really interesting. I have never seen that movie.
that is going to be fascinating.
Yes.
That's the Edward Norton, not the angry Eric Bana
Right,
Hulk,
I
but the
did see
Edward
that
Norton
one.
Hulk. Oh boy.
I might need to watch it before we do the commentary. Otherwise, I'm going to be very quiet and just watching the movie the whole time. So.
I don't know, I'm kind of into that. I
right,
would like
let me
to
know
hear
what you
your
think,
initial
fans.
responses to that movie. That's really good.
Is it better to be feared or respected?
Why not both? Why can't
Playbook
it be both?
says,
Why
why
can't be
not
both?
both?
Wasteland. No rules, just right.
To go back just a moment, I do really like when Rhodey, this very uptight, classy gentleman, just breaks completely at that party. He's swinging the drink around and talking.
It's so necessary,
fantastic.
right? One of the things that I buy in this movie, and I think it's in part because of the performance that we get from Terrence Howard, and just because Rhodey maybe has a little more to do in terms of his character, I buy the friendship between Tony and Rhodey way more in this movie than I do in later movies.
Yeah. I do enjoy the delivery of the line. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked
so
out pretty
good.
well so far.
He's so fantastic. I mean, just, ugh.
That does embody pre-Iron Man Tony Stark.
Well, and gives us his philosophy, that the answer to security. Hey, it turns out that Tony Stark really likes to protect people.
Really?
He wants security. And he wants security in the form of greater munitions.
Yes. What did he say earlier? Peace means having a bigger stick.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's such
I
a
love
great
that he
moment.
stumbles
That
forward
little
after
half
doing
step
that.
forward,
Yeah.
and then as he kind of, just fixes his.
And then they
fixes
open
his
up the
suit
case.
jacket.
You think it's going to be more bombs? Nope, just booze.
Just booze. Very chilled booze. And the hot desert sun.
That is not a look that I want from Jeff Bridges.
No, Jeff Bridges, put your shirt on. I mean, I guess you don't have to. He's very broad, which is kind
Sexy
of nice.
Skyping with Obadiah
He just
Stane.
got back from the store getting his carton of milk and
Yeah.
making his white Russian.
And a new rug.
I just every time I hear a line from RDJ, I wonder, was that improv? I bet that was improv.
It had to have been almost
This is
all
the
of it,
fun
right?
V.
You're
This is
supposed
the
to
fun
say
V.
yes, but instead,
And now we
this is the fun V.
catch up, the hard cut back to where we started our movie.
Oh yeah, remember?
Yeah, remember the horror of war, you guys? Remember how awful it is when we're not just sipping cocktails and
So Jensen
blowing
just
up
jammed
geography?
this thing. Okay, this is going to be actually really good for me also because I have completely forgotten like the arc of Tony's arc reactor in his chest. I have no idea.
Oh, his here again, gone again arc reactor?
Yeah, like sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not. I remember whenever Bucky smashed the shield into it, and I thought for sure he was going to die, but then he didn't. And I guess that was explained in Iron Man 3, which I saw once, maybe.
Oh, that is such an awful
I like
practical
that.
effect. Oh, no, I don't like
Is
it.
still happening? Okay, whoa. Sorry, gang. I almost yardsed coffee all over this table. Jeez Louise.
Okay, we're going to be we have already talked, but we're going to be talking a lot about RDJ and those moments of control, those moments of poise, those moments of unutterable charm. That is not what makes this movie work. I mean, if
No.
we just had that, it would be fine. It would be a James Bond movie, and I'm into
Sure,
that.
yeah.
But what I love about RDJ is his ability to communicate huge and sudden mood shifts, his ability to communicate immense vulnerability.
Yes.
Particularly when he's hooked up to a car battery, for example.
Yeah, to his heart.
To
Not
his
just like in
heart.
the torture way, but to survive.
Oh no.
I do love how we cap the whole Cap. I do love how we
Miss you, Cap.
how we put a button on the whole heart metaphor here. It's very, very good.
Ah, jeez.
That isn't Stark tech.
No, not at all.
Nope.
That was built in a cave.
You had no
Box
heart.
of scraps.
You had no heart, and now you have a mechanical heart. Cold as steel.
Like the Tin Man.
He's like the Tin Man.
He's like the Tin Man in so many ways.
Like the Tin Man.
Do they call him
The
Tin Man at any point through any of these movies?
They do in the comics at times.
That sounds familiar.
Like
I feel like
somebody does,
maybe
right?
someone does. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Ultron does it.
So it wasn't until after I'd seen this movie and I actually went back and looked into the history of Iron Man that I realized how close this is to his original origin story.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, he is kidnapped by the Mandarin. He is kidnapped by the Ten
yes,
Rings,
yes.
but the whole story with the shrapnel in his heart and the electromagnet that holds it at bay, and Professor Yinsen and this whole thing, that is all taken from the original comic run.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting too to see that in the comics, Jensen has a descendant. I can't remember. I think it's a daughter, granddaughter, or something. I think it's granddaughter who takes up a mantle of being an iron type hero from his technology, and it's really kind of has a bitter feud thing with Tony Stark, even though she's also a hero, just because you're like, you owe everything to my grandfather, and what he did was his
Oh, wow.
thoughts that created Iron Man, not yours.
That's very cool.
And it's a really cool storyline in the comics.
So who is this actor playing Yinsen?
Oh, let's look him up.
Yeah, I just
I recognize him from things. He has been in things.
He's been in many things. His name is Sean Taub.
Sean Taub, yeah.
Sean Taub, probably?
Yeah.
A Persian actor, an Iranian-born American film and television actor. Perhaps known for his roles as Yinsen in 2008's Iron Man, Farhad in the 2004 movie Crash, Raheem Khan in the movie The Kite Runner, and Majid Javadi in the Showtime TV series Homeland. Right. He is an intense-looking dude. I'm just showing
Whoa,
Sarah the picture
dang.
of his
He
Wikipedia
played
page.
Uncle Iroh in the last Airbender movie that I refused to ever watch.
Oh my gosh,
the live
that
action
movie
one?
is
Yeah.
so
Oh, I haven't seen that.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so terrible, gang.
Oh,
It's-
he was also in Chuck. That's probably where I know his face from. I loved Chuck.
So Tony not yet realizing why these guys have his weapons. I mean, I guess it's still a secret at this point, right? Like,
Yeah, we're kind of going to run that through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of weapons technology and the sales of weapons technology and the ways in which that can be theoretically ethical or theoretically unethical. I'm like, okay, pretty objectively unethical.
Yeah,
but
no, it's
also,
defo
we
unethical.
try to make the case for the ethical sales of weapons, but of course that's going to be pretty comprehensively deconstructed. And then by the time we hit Iron Man 2 and we're looking at the spread of Iron Man and Iron Man-like technology in
Yes.
the world, we realize just how dangerous Tony Stark has made the world. Not through the application of traditional weapons like the Jericho system, but through his own tech. It's really good.
well, and boy, that sure does come to a head in Age of Ultron,
it
doesn't
sure
it?
does. It sure does. This is what I love about Tony Stark's arc, the Stark arc. I'm a big fan of it.
Gosh, you can't really shorten that, can you? Because it's still just Stark.
It's still just the Stark, yes, with a C at the end. Yes.
Well, and this is going to be, the Stark.
Vocal
Okay, that's
hyphen.
very much like a Frank Herbert Dune name, the Stark.
the Stark.
It's just like you have to vocalize the hyphen in Spider-Man.
You should. If you
It's not
don't,
Spider-Man.
then what
It's
are you doing?
Spider-Man.
Right. I remember whenever Civil War came out, and a lot of people were kind of frustrated with Tony's arc even throughout that movie, and they were like, this isn't how Tony would act, and yada yada yada, and this, that, the other. But like, you watch these movies and it's like, no, this absolutely conclusively is where Tony would end up after everything that he has been through up to this point. Like, what are you even saying?
Tony's arc from here to the end of Civil War, I suppose, and even into Spider-Man Homecoming, I
Yes.
think you can argue, is a guy who consistently believes the same thing. He believes that the world needs to be safe. He believes that people need to be secure. And every time he puts a foot wrong, he learns that that thing does not work.
Yes.
But he's an engineer. He doesn't abandon the core concept. He just says, no, Ultron's, that was a bad idea. I admit that was a bad idea. Okay, so now we have a spider suit that I can make for this kid in Queens. Oh, that didn't
which
work
has
out
an
so well.
instant
Okay,
death
okay.
option for some reason.
I have been watching a lot of Spider-Man Homecoming lately. I love that movie.
It's so good.
This look right here works for me so well.
Beanie looks
Like,
sad,
just
sad Tony.
that acting right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
it
yeah,
really-
yeah. Oh, the look that he's giving.
Yeah,
you mean.
it gives the emotion that he's feeling really well to me.
This reminds me of the scenes that we get in Iron Man 3 when he's in Tennessee with the kid, which is one of my favorite sequences in the MCU. I just love that
I'm
stuff.
excited for that
So,
one because I haven't rewatched that
so
one.
beat up.
Ty Simpkins, I think is his name. He's such a good little actor.
So good.
He's fantastic.
Their parting beat, I'm cold. It's so good. He's such a great kid actor.
I'm
Is he
going
the
to
only kid actor in the MCU?
I believe.
Besides, like, you know, baby Wanda, baby Pietro.
They weren't I mean, like.
Well, and canonically, baby Peter Parker. Now
Sure,
that's
sure.
been connected.
Yes,
Wait, okay,
yes.
but is that canonical?
It
or
has been said to be canonical by the showrunners, basically.
Okay, so the
Not
little.
like in the stories, it's not connected. Like if you just watch the movies, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But by the behind the scenes, people say it's connected.
I like that.
Okay,
I
so
like
they
that.
are
It's
saying
in
that the
that.
little
Yeah.
boy wearing the Iron Man mask is
Yeah.
a very small Peter Parker.
I think Kevin Feige said it for sure.
Well, if Kevin Feige said it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
At this point, yeah, Kevin Feige has earned my trust.
Yeah,
I'm just going to
yep.
believe everything this man says. Yeah.
I don't believe that we actually do get like baby Wanda and Pietro, though. We see like younger
That's
Wanda
true,
and
yeah.
Pietro
No, they're not
before
baby-
he got the
baby
white hair.
versions.
But
I would like to see baby them, like you know, Muppet Babies style. Just the
It's
Quicksilver just
only a
running
matter of
around
time, my
real
dude.
you
quick.
just
It's
want,
only a matter of time,
want
yeah.
Scotty Young's baby Avengers
Yeah.
is what you want.
And then Wanda's just like floating some blocks,
Yeah.
like little blocks.
I'm sorry.
and
We are, of course, forgetting the most important baby character that we have, Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
Oh, yeah, Baby Groot.
100% a baby.
Groot.
Not
Baby Groot
the
would be
child
smart
actor.
back.
Not a human baby or a child actor, but
And
Baby
if we could
Groot.
just get Vin Diesel the voice on that cartoon, I'm sure that's real expensive, but it's gonna be worth it.
Do you think that Tony ever like invites the Ty Simpkin kid character over and like Peter Parker over and they all just like science bro it up in the garage?
You know, that recurring beat all the way
Science
through Spider-Man Homecoming of Peter working at the Stark internship.
Yes.
Like, I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I like that story. I kind of do want the story where they're just science throwing it
Yes.
up, you know?
Yeah, that is why we need an Unstoppable Wasp film, so we
Oh
can have a
my
bunch of science
God,
girls
don't
doing
even
science
get
because
started.
that would be amazing.
Please.
We do have to do that. Okay, you know what? I've got the first trade of that. We're going to do that this month since it's
Yeah,
my birthday
that would
month
be
and
great,
we get some
please.
options. Yes.
I'm gonna have the IMDb trivia page open and just be.
I think that's
scrolling
exactly
Excellent.
what
Do you
we'll
want to
do.
do that while I
Yes,
go
let's
blow
do
my
that.
nose real quick?
So
Great.
one of the interesting things on here, we already kind of touched on it, is the improv, the ad libs that
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. did, but it specifically says that he would ask for retakes of these scenes over and over again, and that Gwyneth Paltrow, on the other hand, had a difficult time trying to match Downey with a suitable line, as she never knew what he would say, which I could just see that being a problem. Like, okay, yeah, you got this down. I don't stop.
I kind of like that, though. I like Robert Downey Jr. has a remarkable ability to raise the game of all the actors that he's performing with.
Yeah.
I think he
And
makes other actors better.
I like the idea that even in character, Tony would be saying something. You just be like, "Wait, I don't know what to respond to you right now. What are you talking about?"
I'd cut into your line and talk over you.
Yes.
And yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
great.
it matches character very well.
It does, beautifully so. I'm such a nerd for these sequences, these actual engineering sequences. I buy Tony Stark as a genius pretty comprehensively right from the jump. I buy that he is this guy.
I think one of the only things that bothers me about this film is that because we get the reveal so quickly in the press conference that he is Iron Man,
Yep.
we never get the long history that you get in the comics where the Iron Man is his bodyguard. It's just a suit that follows him around. Everyone thinks there's somebody in and thinks that Iron Man is Tony Stark's bodyguard because Tony Stark is a rich and famous person.
You guys were just talking about, RDJ's improv and like how he ups the actors all around him and everything. And I just wanted to real quick, like props to all the actors who like did not break anytime that RDJ said something that was completely off script
yeah.
and like were able to just like keep going and like react in character to what it was that he was doing. And I think that that's just, I always find that to be remarkably impressive.
I like this first Iron Man suit. It's pretty cool looking.
I love that this is lifted directly from the comics. This
Yeah.
is just, this is a built in a cave Iron Man suit. Again, one of the things that I love about Stark's characterization throughout the entire MCU is the constant revision to the suit. He's never going to be satisfied. He's
Yeah.
never going to be content with what he's got. I mean, we're up
What are
to,
we up to? Mark
at least
50?
Mark 50. I think the Mark 50 is the last numbered one, but there are more. There are
yeah,
more
I mean,
in
Iron Man 3 alone gives
Homecoming.
us like 20 new suits, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
think backgammon?
narratively, the battle at the end of Iron Man 3 is not my favorite thing that happens in
No,
the
it's
MCU,
kind of
but
a mess,
visually,
right?
it's astonishing.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing.
Yeah. I think I forgot, or maybe it's just not mentioned in the movie. Surely it's mentioned in the movies, what Jarvis stands for in the MCU.
No, Jarvis has never been given a.
Okay.
It has never been given a official acronym.
Well,
Do you have an acronym there?
IMDb has one listed, which is just a rather very intelligent system,
I've heard
which
that
I
before.
really appreciate.
I have a feeling that might have come from RDJ during interviews surrounding
It
the
might
movie.
have,
I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
that's
That's
canonical, though. Yeah, yeah.
hilarious.
But of course, we know where Jarvis comes from. Jarvis comes from the Stark family butler.
That's
Edmund
right.
Jarvis.
I would like to know if this is true and where this information comes from, because this says that he was changed to an artificial intelligence to avoid comparison to Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred.
Yep, no,
I would
that makes
completely
sense.
buy that. Yeah, because if you guys have read the Avengers comics, even up to the present day, that is exactly who Jarvis is. Jarvis
Well,
is Tony Stark's.
Jarvis is wonderful and the unstoppable
Yeah, I was
Wasp.
going to say
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
where I first encountered him, and it was so weird to me because almost all of my knowledge about Marvel and these characters comes from the MCU, and then incidentally from comics as I've been reading them. Like, don't even get me started on how many times I've had to relearn the Maximoff twins' parentage. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I just read a fact I did not know. I don't know if this is. Yeah, I don't know. So the montage of Tony Stark's life was created containing real life photos of young Robert Downey Jr. and his father, Robert Downey Sr.
So that's who that Howard Stark was.
Wow, we sounded real dumb a little while ago.
We sure
We sounded
did.
real dumb.
Oh man, if anybody else knew that, they're going to be like, those morons. Those Mayrons.
You can find us at Excelsior Cast on Twitter.
Send all of your insults and maybe some.
If you send
Nice
us
things,
insults,
too.
we will block you. Like, no shame in blocking 2018. That's my motto.
I'll just mute you. You'll never know you've been blocked.
That's right.
When we talk about this movie as a Hail Mary pass from Marvel, we should remember they spent $140 million on this movie. This
sounds
was
like
not,
a lot.
This was they were committing. This was Marvel pushing all of their chips into the middle of the table and saying, "Okay, but Iron Man." And it turned out pretty well. It took $600 million at the box office.
There's something
Wow.
to be said for what music does in the scene, because right there, the music made me intimidated of this guy. If you take the music out, I don't think I'm as intimidated by this guy walking into the scene. But the music's just,
That's
I love the music in all of the
tremendous
Marvel
skill. Yeah.
movies.
I'm
I'm
scared.
so excited to get to hear all of it again as we're going through. So this guy is initially set up as like our main bad guy, right? Does this guy even have a name?
yeah, he's initially set up as that.
he is suggestive of the Mandarin.
Oh, I
If you've
see.
read the original comics and you
Then
kind of
you would
know
think
the
that
shape
this
of the
was a-
story, or you
okay.
read the Extremis story that Warren Ellis wrote, he is suggestive of the Mandarin, but of course isn't the Mandarin, because it turns out, where are we with that? There is a Mandarin, I guess, thanks to the one shots
I still
that we got in
headcanon
the
that
wake
he
of
is
Iron Man
the
2.
Mandarin. And
This
just
guy
lied about,
or-
no,
oh, Ben
yeah,
Kingsley?
Yeah, and lied about being the Mandarin. I don't know. It's all very
I
confusing.
don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I don't wait. So the
The-
Mandarin shows up in the one shots. I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a
that.
one shot with Sam Rockwell when he is in prison, when Justin Hammer is in prison after the events of Iron Man 2, where he is attacked and beaten because he was involved with the Mandarin. Sorry, no, is that right? Am I
Is
getting
that
my
right?
details
I'm
mixed
gonna
up
have to
now?
go ahead and admit something here. I've only seen like 3 of the one shots ever. I've never watched
The one
like,
shots
half
are
of those.
extremely good.
Have you ever seen the Agent Carter one shot, like the original, like
I
Agent
think
Carter,
so.
like
With
oh my
Bradley
God,
Whitford.
With Bradley
Was like
Whitford.
That's
yeah.
so strong.
It's so good.
Yeah. I
We
think
had
it's one I've
never
also
seen it
seen.
before, and then Alistair showed it to Elizabeth and I when we actually did our Agent Carter episode here on Excelsior, and we both were just like, "This is amazing."
Oh,
It was
they're
very
gonna,
good.
they're
Oh
gonna smoke
no,
hookah.
no!
Looks
He's
like they're
about to
gonna
put
smoke
coal
hookah.
into
I think they're gonna
Jensen's
smoke
mouth.
hookah. I think it's just hookah, guys.
I don't know. That looks like a flaming hot coal that he's
Doesn't
about to
look
put
good to
into that
me.
man's
Doesn't look
mouth.
good to me at all.
I don't like it.
I'm sorry, I'm getting my one shots confused. It is not the one shot with Justin Hammer, of course, which is where we get the rather distasteful gay panic joke about Justin Hammer in prison, which is not a great moment. I'm
that's
thinking
not
of the
ideal.
one shot with Trevor Slattery, with Ben Kingsley in prison, where he is approached by a representative of the actual Mandarin who wants to talk to him.
Oh,
That is the beat that I'm thinking of.
I
that
don't
was
think we're
getting
ever going to
confused at.
revisit that.
I can't imagine that we will,
No,
you guys.
we're
I can't
literally
imagine
about
that
to
we
have
will.
an Infinity War. I don't think that we have time for this.
I want to talk a little about Ramin
Ugh,
Djawadi.
I'm sorry. Hang on. I need to just
Sure,
Sit
just
right here.
appreciate the muscles here.
Appreciate,
Yeah, the musculature of the
wife
Stark.
beater RDJ banging on this
Pretty
anvil,
good.
which is
Think
doing things
That's
for me.
the
you
appropriate
know what?
term
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. In 2018, let's maybe just call
Oh,
that
I'm
a sleeveless
sorry,
tee.
a tank top. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I do not condone wife beating in any way, shape, or form. I apologize.
So as this theme rises, I want to talk about Ramin Djawadi,
Look at those
who is
glistening muscles.
the
Sorry.
Iranian
Muscles.
German
No, I feel
composer
really bad now. God, I'm
who
sorry,
provides
everybody.
all of the music. I'm just talking over you to try and get us out of that little cul-de-sac where you led us. Djawadi is best known for writing the score, not for the Iron Man movie, but the theme for Game of Thrones.
Huh.
The guy who did all the music for Iron Man wrote the theme for Game of Thrones. He
I
wrote
love the
music
Game of
for
Thrones
the
theme.
Warcraft movie, which is a terrible film.
bad movie.
Despite Dominic
I've
Cooper.
never watched it.
Very, very bad film. Very
Oh my
great
God,
music.
Dominic Cooper was in that, wasn't wasn't he?
Playing-
And the girl who plays Reyna.
Yes.
Did he play Rocket Raccoon in that movie too?
No, sadly not. Sadly not. He also did the music for Pacific Rim.
Okay.
So he's been
Well,
all over the
He's
place.
probably
Person of
also
interest,
who we have
Westworld.
to thank for the Iron Man cartoon show, the 66 one. The theme track can be heard on several occasions in the casino in Stark's bedroom and as Rhodey's ringtone.
Yes, very good.
That's
I appreciate
amazing.
Not as iconic as the Spider-Man.
No, I don't think I've ever even noticed that because I couldn't tell you what the Iron Man theme song is.
Sarah, was it you who didn't recognize the string orchestral arrangement of the Spider-Man TV theme at the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming? Was it you who didn't pick that up the first time that we watched it?
No.
I now can't remember who didn't pick it up the first time that we watched that movie, but it was a
I
great
remember
reveal.
someone
when it-
going, "Oh, what?
I mean, hang on, that might have been me, so maybe I didn't initially recognize it, but then it took like a couple of bars and then I recognized it. So
it's a
that's
great
the
arrangement. I actually
situation.
love that piece of music. It's so good. Yeah.
Very
If that's what
good.
happened, then yes, that was me. But
Okay,
just
so-
completely missed it entirely? No, probably not.
We're getting now to the end of the first act. We're putting together the Iron Man suit. And we're about to get into.
So is this the Mark 1 or like the Mark 0? What do we call this one?
This is canonically, this is the Mark 1 Iron Man suit.
Wow.
Yeah. Not quite the red and gold extravaganza that we're accustomed to.
No.
I'm gonna have to be honest. Watching these MCU films, trying to do a commentary on the good ones is going to be very difficult because I just have a tendency to just stop and watch the film. And I'm
Right?
not-
And
Like,
they're also
oh man,
just
it's just
really
a good
I
movie.
mean, okay, let's take a quick look at the list that we have prepared here. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of good movies on this list, you guys.
There's a few bad ones that are going to make for a lot of good talk. Your attitude when you said Ant-Man made me very excited to talk about Ant-Man because I love that film.
I've only seen it once, and I'm
that was
super-
my that was the implication that I was making. I've only
Yeah.
seen Ant-Man once
It's
too.
gonna
I'm
make a very good
pretty sure I'm
discussion
going to like it
there.
as we come back to it. Yeah, I like very much the Incredible Hulk movie. Less
Never
so
seen
as it
it.
moves toward its
See,
conclusion. The third act is
no.
not strong.
Yeah,
The
it's
Abomination is
okay.
not as strong.
I don't like Edward Norton. I loved Edward Norton at the time, and I've learned
Yeah.
not to like Edward Norton
Oh,
very much.
interesting,
in recent years,
interesting.
So,
Hashtag not my banner.
yeah, my banner. We did so much better with a Ruffalo.
Oh
and
my
can't
gosh,
wait
I
for
adore
Mark
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo to enter the scene.
I think the Thor movies are going to be probably the toughest to get through.
Well, certainly Thor: The Dark World. I think that the first Thor is perfectly fine. Again,
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it's
really,
good.
I don't really remember it almost at
Jensen.
all. Go Jensen, go!
Oh,
He dies,
Go,
right?
Go, Jensen, go.
Classic Han Solo reveal. Jensen, you made your mistake. You didn't learn from Star Wars. You're supposed to turn around and run the other way and
Yep.
have them chase you
Don't
in a
understand
comedic
that.
moment. I just heard, by the way, speaking of music and great orchestral themes, I just heard that John Williams is composing a new theme for the Han Solo anthology movie, which I'm really excited
I'm into
about.
that comes out pretty soon.
Pretty soon enough that it is surprising that we haven't had a trailer or a poster or anything.
Well, we do have a poster, but it's just the logo.
Yeah, I think the poster also came from, oh God, Japan or Russia or somewhere, like it's an overseas.
Well, they have it here because I know they have it at one of the local
Oh,
theaters
the
right now.
logo one.
That
Oh,
just
right.
says
Yeah,
Solo.
sure,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the
Yeah.
actual, yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
overseas one.
Do you think that they're going to have Han Solo have a romantic interest in his solo movie? And is that going to anger the fans because he's supposed to end up
Well,
with Leia?
apparently, I think I read something, and I don't know much about like the extra canonical stuff and
Yeah.
the books and everything.
Oh, well, none of it. It's all just legendary.
But
anymore.
apparently, he does have a love interest in his backstory that he's like running from, and they've hinted that it might be part of the film. So we'll see.
Was that I am
I don't think that
woefully
was-
behind on my Star Wars comics reading, but did they not introduce his wife?
Yes, they
In the
did.
comic series?
I don't remember
What?
much about that, but they did do
Yeah,
that.
I have
thing.
no idea if that's canonical, and I don't know how that
Yeah.
story turned out. I just saw the,
Yeah.
the headline on Polygon or something. Yeah.
I've read that comic, but I don't remember it very well.
By the
now.
way, you guys, if you are into comics commentaries, as you probably are, since you're with us now, 45 minutes into this commentary track for 2008's Iron Man movie, if you're into that, do check out Polygon.com, the video game website, because they've been doing some really great comic book coverage lately.
They
I've been
really do.
thoroughly
They've
enjoying
got,
it.
they have a video series called Issue at Hand where
Yes.
they go through and talk about comics, which is really, really excellent. They do good work over there. And also just everybody at Polygon is like super cool.
Yeah,
and
go
I
fall
really
in love
enjoy
with Brian
them.
David Gilbert, which I
Yes.
have done in the course of the last week because
I
he's just a
finally
tremendous
watched
fellow.
his week in review.
His
where
week in review.
He
Listen up,
sings
Dingus. This is the
news.
week in review.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I have zero time to play video games ever because my love of comic books is way
Sure,
stronger.
sure. Oh,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
love video games, so I just go to Polygon and listen to them talk about them, and that's how I get my
Yep.
video game
Oh,
film.
yeah. Oh, I need to go home and watch the newest episode of Awful Squad.
Just to date this,
I'm
this
just gonna
podcast recording. Yes.
shoot this Iron Man in the head. That seems like the
Yep,
best idea.
yeah, no,
I
that's
have.
my plan.
He has
It's
giant eye
such a
holes, but I will
great
just
look.
shoot him from behind in the
So
head.
this ties back to like the earliest versions of Iron Man as a character, where he was supposed to be a kind of this man, this monster figure in Marvel continuity. He was supposed to be this Not
like
unlike, I suppose,
Frankensteinian.
yeah, kind of a Ben Grimm figure, which is what Marvel did so beautifully in the early 1960s as they were establishing their shared universe, was create all of these characters with very human flaws. In Tony Stark's case, of course.
How did he miss him? He was 10 feet away.
What do you suppose he can see in that helmet?
Nothing. You're right. I'm
He doesn't have a
sorry.
Jarvis
I'm
and the heads up
sorry.
display and all
Probably
that stuff.
not precise aiming.
Yeah, probably not.
Even if he could see well.
I don't know if you know, but he made the suit in a cave with a box of scraps.
Oh!
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Oh, it's so
This is a
soon
sweet
for this.
moment.
Yeah. And we saw Professor Jensen's picture in Spider-Man Homecoming. Isn't he one of the
Yeah,
Easter
I
eggs
think
in the
so.
science?
Right.
I
Room?
think so.
Which I choose to believe is because Tony Stark has been funding public school science throughout New York City.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
you need a picture of this guy. This guy no one's ever heard of. You put his picture up. That's what I want.
Statues of Jensen.
Yes, statues
everywhere.
of Jensen. Yes. Oh. RDJ, you're breaking my heart.
Oh, seriously.
It's so good.
Have we talked about who we think is going to die in Infinity War?
Yes, and we don't want to go back there again.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
a dark tunnel that I don't want to enter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's a dark tunnel that Tony Stark is
Oh, the light of the arc reactor. They're very, very good.
is. I like
Look at
this
that thing.
monstrosity of an Iron Man
They're just
suit.
yelling. I also would just yell. You know what? I would quit. I'd go home. I'd be
It's
like,
some
no,
kind of
I'm
Iron
good.
Yeah, there's
Man.
definitely like 3 of them that just laid down their guns and were like, all right,
I'm done. I'm out.
anyone want breakfast?
Very lucky no one shot
My
him in the eye
turn.
hole there.
Well, that's just a flamethrower. I don't think it can actually. Oh, it can reach them. Wow, I
a
really don't
Stark
remember
tech
this
flamethrower.
movie. It's a cave tech flamethrower.
Yeah, this is Cave Tech, not Stark Tech.
I just remembered the
And there's a
scene
lot of
where he lands
explosives in those boxes.
in the
You probably should have
city.
been catching them on fire.
This
Sorry.
really did remind, or I was reminded of this, I have to admit, when I was watching Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Because the suit that Bruce Wayne builds to fight Superman
Looks
does
just
not
like
look
this.
unlike
It's
the
just
Mark I
straight
Iron Man
cribbed
suit.
from the Mark I Iron Man.
Yeah, so I think Iron Man could take out Superman.
I don't think
Wow,
Iron Man would
I'm
need
sorry.
to.
Tony
Just
Stark
at me
here is
real
literally
quick.
setting fire to boxes of explosives, and what you did was more provocative.
Could Iron Man take out Superman? Yes, absolutely. Would he? Maybe not necessarily.
Well, if Superman's not going to sign the Sokovia Accords, then yes.
Okay, but I mean that's also a good point. I mean, I don't know. He didn't like fight Wanda
Yeah.
or anything. Wanda didn't necessarily sign the Accords.
He did try locking Wanda in her room, though.
Well, okay, but she was like in a compound. She's got cable. There's probably like a home theater system
but she
in
was
there.
not happy with that.
You know what? That is on her. And also, she was dealing with a lot of other stuff.
I like this.
This is a
I
great
like
reveal.
The suit is completely
Yep.
disintegrated upon descent.
This is a great.
You know what? This will
Pieces of
actually
it
doing
everywhere.
all these commentaries will also be really good because maybe we can pay a little bit of attention to like what the actual timeline is within the MCU. Because can we assume that this movie takes place in the year of our Lord 2008?
Not anymore. No.
Oh, what?
Not anymore. The Marvel timeline is all over the place now. It's being shuffled around. We're going to see there are a couple of established dates within the MCU, but not actually that many. And I believe that Kevin Feige has said that there will be some kind of definitive timeline released in the near future, probably in the lead up to Infinity War, probably after Black Panther. I think he doesn't want to
Okay.
release it now because it's going to have spoilers and implications for Black Panther. But I think
Okay.
before Infinity War comes along, we'll probably get a definitive timeline of the MCU.
Okay, interesting.
Which is awesome because they're under no obligation to do that.
Sure,
they're
yeah.
under no obligation to appease the nerds.
Oh, so on top of Paul Bettany not ever having watched the film, he apparently didn't know what film he was working on either when he did it.
Wow, Paul
He
Bettany.
merely did the job as a favor for Jon Favreau, who he worked with on Wimbledon.
Wimbledon, good lord, that's not a good movie. Wow.
I like that Tony just threw up the peace sign as he fell to his knees just now. Ooh, that's rude,
Now,
Brody.
Rhodey? Now?
Yeah, I don't think now is the time.
Oh, but then
Hey, look at this.
that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the relationship between
Yeah.
Tony and Rhodey in this
Yes.
movie. Yeah. Next time you ride with me and the hand on the shoulder and the hug, that's good. That's strong.
So Jeff Bridges said he felt really uncomfortable not
Aw,
having a
Pepper.
script or rehearsals since normally he's very prepared. And you know what? I can relate to that. This is how I feel doing these commentaries. I have no notes. I need my notes. I am very lost.
We're all just awfully relaxed. Are you ready for some very intrusive product placement? We're going to get some real intrusive product
I don't know what
placement
you're talking
in just a
about.
second. Let's see if you can spot which company paid this movie millions of dollars. to
Stark
appear.
Industries.
Say this-
There's the girl.
I swear, if Marvel started releasing like their own versions of, Roombas and give me a tablet, give me a cell phone, give me like an Android cell phone from Marvel that is branded Stark Tech, I would buy that
Oh
so
my God,
fast.
in a second.
Yeah. They just need to buy the sharper image, right?
They do.
And then rebrand all of that Stark Tech.
Yes. 3 months.
The order.
I want an American cheeseburger. And as we know, there is only one American cheeseburger.
Is it Burger King?
It is Burger King. It's pretty cute.
King of the burgers?
The Burger Monarch.
King.
Yes.
The Burger Monarch.
That is one of my favorite recurring jokes. If you guys have listened to Hello from the Magic Tavern, the podcast.
Oh, that the magical portal is behind the Burger King.
When the magical portal is behind the Burger King, and it turns into this whole there's this developing arc about how the real world is ruled by this burger monarch, which I like a lot. There
There's
we go.
only one left. I really need it.
So our first act
She's
is complete.
so freckly and lovely.
You are suddenly into freckles.
I'm very into. No, I'm. Oh my God! What?
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. There's my man.
I didn't know he was in
He
this
looks so
one.
young too. He looks like a little baby.
I did not know Clark Gregg was in this movie. I thought he didn't show up until the second one.
Yep.
There
Shield
he
mouthful
is.
right there. More specific focus.
God, I love Clark Gregg.
I'm going to cry. Like
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I feel like you're having the Force
I love
Awakens
this.
moment
I love
with
this.
Han on the Millennium Falcon where he's talking to Rey and
He's
Finn.
got another-
It's true.
hold
It's
on.
all true.
He has another hamburger in his pocket. He just pulled it out of his pocket.
he just
I
made
forgot about
everyone in
that.
his
Wait.
press conference sit
He
down.
came in with the burger in the bag, told Obadiah Stane that there was only one left when he had the other one already in his
In his
pocket.
pocket.
Tony Stark, man, the rich get richer. I tell you what.
He finished eating it in front of him and then pulled out this one.
Do you think this started RDJ's habit of just constantly having food and eating on set like he does throughout the Avengers?
People talk about that, and having done like a little bit of acting, never film acting, but a little bit of stage acting in my life, I never wanted to touch food or drink or anything because that is just a nightmare. Particularly during rehearsals, because you just
Yeah.
end up doing that thing again and again and again.
Well, but I mean, like, if it's like a bag of trail mix or whatever, that's fine. Like, it's different if it's like a bowl of mashed potatoes in front of you.
Yeah, that's very bad.
Which is why Joyce always ate like a bird in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I do like this factoid that I think if I'm remembering it correctly, that it was Robert Downey Jr. who decided to sit down here, and that completely changed the way they were filming it. They were like, "Oh, I guess we got to do that as a thing."
I can believe it because the way these shots are composed, they feel a little bit uncomfortable. They feel a little bit crowded out.
Yes.
And I like that very much. We're just silent because
Yeah, it's
Obadiah's
very-
like, "Hold on,
Whoa,
hold on,
whoa, 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 whoa.
big smile, big smile. What are you doing?" Even Rhodey's like, "Oh no."
yeah. Well, Rhodey's conflicted as a military officer.
Yeah.
He also believes in the bigger stake.
Yes.
Don't
I
make
don't know
your
if he's
headline
healthier than
big
ever.
girls.
His arm is in a sling,
Yeah,
Obadiah.
and there's something really wrong with his heart.
Oh my God, segues.
nice.
You guys remember
Segue.
segues?
With that
Nice
giant
segue.
cigar.
Full on Joe Bluth right there. That's perfect.
Did
You
he
wanna
just
see a
stick
magic
the, Oh,
trick?
I thought that he stuck the cigar into his jacket.
Don't
That was
do
his,
pocket.
that.
that was his Bluth magic trick right there. I can make the cigar disappear into my sleeve. I'm
It's
on
a
fire.
good-looking
I'm
suit.
on fire.
For the rest of your life, Tony.
It is interesting to point out that in the comics, Obadiah Stane ran his own company, Stane International, which was
Stane
a
Tark?
business rival to Tony
Yeah,
Stark
yeah.
in the comics.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said stain dark. Hang on. What I was trying to do was like stain tech or stain Stark Enterprise. I fucked the
Obadiah
whole thing
Stink.
up. There's our first swear of the day. I think we're doing really well.
That can't possibly be the first
No,
swear of the day,
it
really?
no, it
Wow.
is of this commentary, I believe.
Good Lord. This is great. Okay, so Tony Stark's arc here, coming through the experience in Afghanistan, being touched by the consequences of his weapons, no longer being able to maintain that distance between himself and the actual application of this weapons technology, seeing how it works and deciding instead to do the thing that he does, to build, to make the world better. There is a narrative around Tony Stark, this whole, ironmonger kind of weapons magnate narrative around Tony Stark. I've never really been compelled by that because I always see him as someone who wants to protect and defend. And weapons were the best way to do that, and now they're not.
Yeah.
And I love that.
This is an interesting fact. I guess the newspaper that Tony Stark was reading just before the press conference had a grainy picture of the Iron Man suit, was actually a still screen capture from a video that onlookers took during the filming. That they were hiding in a bush and they took a film and put it online. And the movies, I guess Marvel just got a hold of him, was like, can we use a capture from that for this newspaper?
That's so
awesome.
good.
In the film.
Jeff Bridges is fantastic in this
He's
movie.
so good. Yeah.
I just want to make Big Lebowski jokes. That's all I
Yeah,
want
no,
to do.
that's fair.
He's got a good looking beard. His suit looks great.
Yellow tie.
Yellow
It's a
tie,
choice.
blue shirt.
It's a choice.
Mad money.
Oh, man.
This is fun.
It's always interesting when they put real news things in the movies.
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper here to talk about the Avengers.
This is
That was cringing.
thanks, Pepper. Thanks for making a face that really sums up our entire response to this.
Oh, here we go. We're finally getting like the Stark Tech, like proper UI and things.
Oh, yeah. That's the laptop she uses, and, look at the phone that Tony uses, but they have this technology.
Yeah.
What are they doing with their
Oh, I
lives?
love this scene. You got small hands.
They are small.
Well, they're very petite indeed. I could stick my hand into Tony Stark's chest. I also have small, petite hands.
You do. I could not.
Can you put
No.
that on your Twitter bio for
Yeah, I'll
me?
do it right now.
I have small, petite hands that can fit into Tony Stark's chest.
Okay, I'm gonna have to copy my current bio and save that because it's very important to me. But yeah, I'm gonna change this.
Everyone
right
go
now.
check out Sarah on Twitter to confirm that she has indeed changed her bio.
Don't worry.
Ooh. Oh.
You just pulled that out of your chest. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. There's a list of things I don't like. That's at the top of them.
She is okay. The look of utter horror on her face is very good.
It's like Operation.
What do you mean, Operation?
Oh, it's so tense. Oh,
So it is pretty interesting that in this film we already get Clark Gregg and a SHIELD introduction.
Yep.
And we even get the acronym that stands for Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division already in film one.
Yeah.
And we don't know if
Oh,
there's
yeah.
going to be an MCU at this point.
It's not pus. It's an inorgasmic plasmic discharge from the device.
I'm sorry. Did you say inorgasmic? Did you 100% say inorgasmic?
Oh, I'm just going to keep talking about facts regarding
please,
SHIELD because I
please.
can't deal with this scene.
Please do that. Oh, that's very bad. It's a long wire too. I don't love it.
Where did that cut? Like, where does it curve? Because his body's not that far down. I mean, in the comics, SHIELD originally stands for Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division. And in 91, it was revised to Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Dictoriate.
Wow. Sounds like someone just really wanted your initials to
Someone
spell out
just
shield.
really wanted to spell SHIELD. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow, stop sticking your hand into people's chests. I don't like it. Whether
There it
they
is.
need it or not. I don't like it. Nice rims, Tony.
Is that dummy
It's a nice
standing
rim,
over
huh?
him right now? The little
Oh.
the articulated arm hanging over him.
Yeah. It's slowly like moving. Do you see that?
Yep.
It's just like juddering just slightly.
Aw.
Gooey hands.
Oh,
Don't worry, you'll have a whole team soon. I mean, you're going to alienate all of them as well, but except Nat, I guess. Nat will stick around. Except that then she won't.
these few moments though of genuine connection. I understand why Pepper is around Tony. I understand why she's in love with Tony. It's not that he's a bad guy. He makes bad choices, but
Yes.
he does have truth to it.
What's Pepper's real name?
Isn't it Pepper? Probably
I think
Betty. Most of them are called
Probably Betty.
I'll let Alistair look that one up while I read this interesting fact that during production, Robert Downey Jr. set up an office next to Jon Favreau's office to discuss his role and be more involved in the film screenwriting, which I feel like something that Jon Favreau was like, oh, really? Come on, man. Just leave me alone.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, that's right. I did know that.
I knew it wasn't really Pepper. Pepper's a cute nickname, though.
She first appeared in Tales of Suspense number 45 in 1963. Wow. In 2007, she joined the 50-state initiative under the codename Hera.
Huh.
And then, of course, she took up the identity of Rescue, wearing Stark Tech
Neat.
for a little while.
I like that originally in this film, the Mandarin was going to be a bigger presence, but that Jon Favreau felt him to be too fantastic and dated. Thanks, Jon Favreau. That's actually what most people think. I don't know why we ever would think different.
He's such a baby.
He's so lil.
So lil.
I can't believe. I mean, this movie is 10 years old, but I mean, like, I guess that they were filming it like, what, 2 years prior to that even? But still, like.
Yeah, I mean, RDJ changes a lot in 10 years, but not as much as Terrence Howard changes in just to the next Iron Man film.
Terrence Howard has evolved into Don Cheadle.
I really like Don Cheadle. I also quite like Terrence Howard.
I also like the idea of Rhodey being a Pokemon.
Rhodey sounds like a Pokemon name, doesn't it?
Rhodey.
Rhodey.
Children. I work with children. What kind of space keyboard is
That
this?
can't be better. Indexes Mark II. There we go.
There we go.
Holographic tech. I love it.
Yeah.
Isn't it in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they're trying to like zoom something out and they can't
Yes.
make it
Yeah.
work?
Yes.
Who was it that was trying to do that?
Ward?
Was it Ward?
I think it might have been
Yeah,
Ward,
no,
yeah.
I love that.
I did not know that Hugh Jackman was offered the role as Tony Stark.
Well, that would not have worked because then who would have been Logan?
Robert Downey Jr. This is a very interesting universe that I'm now imagining.
Yeah, no, I think it works one way, but not the other. I could
Yes,
see
yes.
Hugh Jackman doing a
No,
version
Hugh
of Tony
Jackman
Stark.
could not be Tony Stark.
Are you thinking of Wolverine Hugh Jackman, or are you thinking of,
I'm
you know,
thinking any
Razzle Dazzle
iteration-
Broadway Hugh Jackman?
Any
'Cause
iteration
that
of Hugh
version I
Jackman.
could see doing a
No,
Tony Stark.
no. Only RDJ. Oh, that guy's having a bad time. Maybe don't be out.
Those are full-on Fury Road glasses, too, that he's
Oh,
rocking
also,
right
yes.
there.
But like, if your skin is still that raw and nasty, maybe don't be
get
out
out
in a
in the
place
sand.
where
Yeah,
the
you need-
sand
you
is
need
like
aloe, buddy.
gritting.
Yeah, you
like,
have sand
put
literally
a
on your
Band-Aid.
wound. I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the guys sifting the desert looking for proof of the Iron Man suit, and then we have that horizontal wipe to move us into the next scene. That's a very Star Wars moment.
Oh yeah.
You just have
Star Wars,
stormtroopers
Flash
looking
Gordon.
around.
Yep.
Which I
yep.
guess Jon Favreau's idea for the Mandarin was that he would be more like the Emperor in this film.
Yeah,
Just a
like
presence.
Palpatine, just
Yeah.
a presence in the background. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I mean, Marvel could probably stand to have some sort of like Emperor Palpatine. Oh wait, that's Thanos. Never mind.
Also, you know, they have a lot of Star Wars references in the MCU.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially with losing appendages. It's an ongoing reference.
Oh, this is so great.
It's
the
so
test footage.
fantastic.
I forgot about the test footage. This is
test
Anytime
footage is
we
so
start
good.
doing found footage, test footage, I'm 100% into it. It is dummy. There we go. Okay, good.
a dummy who literally cannot stay still.
Dummy, whom I love.
Stop.
I'm going to donate you to a
giving
community college.
this robot coffee. He is jittery. Like, just look at this camera. He just slightly moves every once in a while. And it totally fits because when you see him off screen, just in the background, he's just slightly moving
Yeah.
the whole time.
He should be dead.
I love that. I love that. It's great.
But
is
no, that should have snapped his
strong-
neck
strong
instantaneously.
comic timing. I
Dead,
like
dead,
that.
dead. Ooh, we need to get us a Stark mug. All
I want Stark mugs.
right, hang on. I'm going onto Amazon.
Hello, Amazon. Hold on. Alexa, order me a Stark mug.
Hey, Google.
No, right, that's what I want. When I was talking about Marvel buying the sharper image and giving me like drones and Roombas and stuff like that,
You want
what
to
I
just
want,
rename your Google Jarvis?
that's very much
Yes.
what I want.
well, it's
Can I
a
get,
girl's
the
voice,
Paul
so you'd have to
Bettany-
call her Friday.
It's Friday. Or Chuck.
Or Chuck.
That's just our personal.
That's our personal headcanon joke. Oh, is that a Captain Marvel comic?
Welcome to Sarah Browses Amazon on a podcast.
You guys are being mean to me again.
No,
today.
I just love how relaxed and natural you are with this environment, and sometimes you just forget that we're doing a show. It's the best thing. It's a flight stabilizer.
God damn it. I look for Stark mug and I get Game of Thrones.
I think the thing that I love most about those test footage sequences and like the development sequences is that they are not shot like action sequences. And then we get the intrusion of this big budget SFX into these scenes that are just completely normalized. I love it. Pepper just working in the corner of the shot. Just doop,
Yep,
doop,
just
doop.
I'm here doing my job.
No, she is. She's mouthing something as she's working there. Oh, that's so cute.
$56 and a half.
56 and a half. That sounds like a lot. I don't know. about
There's no
things.
way to know how much that is. We don't know how much the stock is worth or how many.
$1 million billion.
Okay, well then it's probably not that much.
$2.
Or it's a lot.
Never
I don't
tell
know.
me the numbers, Potts.
I knew you wouldn't ask unless it was really low or really high.
The thing that I like about Jeff Bridges' performance in this movie is that I completely buy Obadiah Stane's. I mean, unfortunately, going in, I had a little bit of comics knowledge.
Sure.
So I knew that he was a bad guy. Like,
I did not.
Oh, you gave him a bad guy's name. He's going to be a bad guy. That's fine. But I like how sincere he seems to be, how avuncular he seems to be.
Yeah.
There's no mustache twirling from Obadiah Stane's until there is.
Yes.
And it's a great reveal. Oh, look at those cars.
They are nice cars. They're not going to stay that way.
They are not. This is so good. This is so good. You got to charge
Hey,
that
you're
camera
doing it.
battery, though, Tony.
You're doing it. You're really doing it.
You're flying, Tony. Happy thought. Happy thought.
You are the pan.
Just need pixie dust. That's all you need.
I miss Dummy. Aw.
Dummy was rescued at the end of Iron Man 3, right? He's
I
one of
don't
the
remember.
things. I think Dummy is one of the things that's in the little trailer that Stark drives away from the ruins of his mansion.
If we ever get an MCU-based pet Avengers, I really hope Dummy's on the team.
Oh, that would be so good. Has Inhumans just ruined Lockjaw now? Are we just never
well,
gonna get
Lockjaw's
that?
still good.
Is
Lockjaw
Inhuman still
the good
going? I
one.
know that we talked about this briefly
No,
the other day.
it has been officially canceled, I think. I mean, the season 1 did end, and I think they officially said that they are not renewing.
Hulu just announced a second season for Runaways, in which
Yes.
presumably they'll run away.
Yeah, I hope
that'll
so.
be nice.
I really hope they run away before the end of this season.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying Marvel's Stay at Homes. I think it's a really good show. Really enjoying it.
It is a good
Nico
show.
and Carolina kissed last episode, so that was fun.
Dude,
Into
spoilers.
that. What? You knew they were
It was
gonna.
always going to happen. Ah,
He's so proud of himself. Ah!
Swoosh
You know
down in
that there's just a
shame.
guy off camera with the remote control
Yep.
for Dummy, and they were just playing.
okay. I am all about
There it
suit
is.
assembly sequences. Like, clearly, Jon Favreau loves them. Clearly, the Marvel Universe in general loves them. I love every time we get a version of the suit going on and assembling
Mm-hmm.
itself. It's so good.
We will get so many more Stark face shots like this.
Yep.
God,
would've
this
known?
HUD has got to be like remarkably distracting.
Hey, you got to be a focused person to be able to deal with this.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Oh,
good.
love the
Oh, it's
chrome.
so good.
Like the chrome a lot, actually.
Chrome's
Yeah, me
pretty
too.
good.
Me too. That kind of coppery golden sheen on the chrome is very, very good too.
I think that these graphics still look amazing also. I think
Yeah.
it looks fantastic.
Holds up.
Yeah.
I feel like in some ways Iron Man 1 and 2 actually hold up better in that regard than 3 and certainly into Civil War. We do a lot of stuff in Civil War that feels like we're stressing the tech just a little bit.
Yeah.
That feels a little bit inhuman.
Why does Cap's shield look like that?
Because it's CGI. Sometimes you got to run before you can walk.
Oh. We've gotten very quiet here now, folks.
We
but
have,
this is like
because this is just a
really,
great sequence.
really
It's okay.
great
No
and
one's listening to us.
important.
We're all just enjoying
the flying
Iron Man.
sequence. Here it is. I love it. He's so excited. He's as excited as I am. I think I made that same noise in the theater when I saw this. The whole theater was just woo.
I love the physicality of Iron Man always, but particularly in flight. I love the way he moves when he's
yes.
flying. It's so good.
It is.
Oh
very
man,
good.
this really makes me want to watch Homecoming again.
We'll get there. We'll get there just a few months from now.
Wow.
Hey, I've been on that Ferris wheel. I've sat right where those kids are
Is that
sitting.
Juan and Pietro?
It is. There they are. I don't know what brought them there.
Yeah, they grow up fast between now and
They
Avengers.
sure do. Well, I mean, the timeline is crazy, so who even knows?
Of course,
Let's
Jarvis
break a
knows
record. Alexa, what's the record?
Oh yeah, you dummy.
I think my Alexa said that the other day when we dropped to -9.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that's not bad for some people, but this is Oklahoma.
It is for us, yeah.
If you're listening to this at some distant point in the future, the U.S. has been real cold the last week.
Yeah.
It got to -100 in New Hampshire with wind chill
What?
and everything.
Whoa.
Wait,
-100.
-100?
That's
That
a
murders
thing?
people
It was
like
literally colder in
instantaneously.
New Hampshire than it was in Antarctica. That
How
was
is
how
that
cold
even
it was this last
possible?
week. I guess it was on like the side of a mountain, so there was a lot of wind chill involved too. But it was
Okay.
bad. It was real bad.
Like, did all life just die in that area?
There is no more New Hampshire now. It's just
New
it's
Hampshire has
it's
ceased
north
to
of the wall
be.
now. That's it. We've ceded it to the White Walkers.
to be. He
So
did
that's
it! Yay!
a great character beat there that is obviously going to inform the climax of the movie. I like
Sure.
the ice build-up problem is just great. It's very, very good.
Well, and I think that it also shows that like Tony will often push himself to the
This is a
brink
great
and to
comedic
the
beat, too.
point of
Speaking of which,
Oh!
yep, there we go. And yep.
oh, sorry about your really nice car.
Yeah, that was a good car. Too. There he is. He might be on fire. I don't know. I mean,
Well, you
he
get
made
out of that
some
with
bad
just an ice
decisions.
pack. You're probably doing okay.
Oh,
He
yeah,
said,
no, he's
first
fine.
test flight, let's break a record.
Yeah.
Oh,
Broke
you got
the
a
whole
box.
piano. Oh,
I got you
this is-
strawberries. I'm allergic to strawberries. Oh, that's the second one.
It's the gift from
From
Pepper.
Pepper.
This is picking up on the beat earlier that I think we talked over, where he
Said he's
throws
not
away.
nostalgic.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
nostalgic. He's just throwing away the Mark One.
Proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Aww.
Pepper.
It's so sweet. They should sell replicas of that. That would be
They
cool.
should.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Did that come with the Phase 1 Marvel box that
It actually,
came,
no. I
came
think
in the
Phase 1
Tesseract or
box
something
came,
insane?
Yeah, no, it had the Tesseract. And
Yeah.
you opened
Yeah.
that up. And then,
Oh,
oh, man.
I always really wanted that thing, but it was always so expensive, and I'd already bought
expensive.
most of the movies.
I
It
know,
felt like it was
right?
just a
Yeah,
little-
I've just been
little
getting
bit
them
too
all on
much.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, the only ones I own right now are the Cap trilogy and both Avengers
The
films.
new editions with the reworked cover art to make the cover art more consistent.
Oh, yeah?
Those are very
Yeah,
cute.
and
Yeah.
they, have
I like
the,
those
they
a
say
lot.
the phases on them,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I'm enough of a computer nerd that I want this layout. Like,
Yes. It's a
I-
lot of monitors.
I have always wanted a computer set up with lots of monitors.
perhaps if you intend to visit other planets, we should improve the exosystems, says Jarvis. Interesting.
What?
Interesting. Don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah. In the
Nah.
comics, Tony becomes one of the Guardians of the Galaxy at one point.
Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, when does Captain Marvel come out? That's next year, right?
Next year,
yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I want it now.
2018 is going to be
want
Black
it
Panther and
now.
Infinity War, and then 2019 is going to be Infinity War Part 2, whatever that is in Captain Marvel. Yeah.
All right. I just want to see Brie Larson being amazing.
post-traumatic stress. Bedridden?
Zoriana Kit. That's a hell of a name.
See, this is one of those moments where I have no idea. Is that a real entertainment journalist in the real world, or is that a comics reference?
Who even knows?
That apparently is Jon Favreau's hot rod.
That fiery one just then?
Yeah, the one that he's been working on.
God, I wish that I could just tell Photoshop to just color my shit in like this. That'd be great.
You just need a Jarvis.
I do.
We all need a Jarvis.
We all need a Jarvis.
The fact that there's not a Jarvis is really disappointing. Oh no, this is okay. I learned one lesson from Doctor Strange, and it's that you don't drive this way in California. Be
Seriously,
careful.
You'll die.
Zoriana Kit, I am pleased to announce, is a real life actress and entertainment journalist.
Wow.
So she's for real.
What do you think the nickname is? Do they call her Zori or do they just call her Anna?
I would call her Kit personally.
Kit is also very good.
You know, that's a good nickname, right? Yeah.
Kit could be a cute nickname for Charlotte too.
You're not short on cute nicknames. It's one of the reasons Charlotte is a very good name.
No, it's absolutely. Yeah.
Hey,
hey,
Stan Lee.
Oh, Stan Lee cameo as Hugh Hefner. Quick check-in here from the early days of 2018. Stan Lee is still alive. Hugh Hefner, not so much.
Also, didn't it turn out that Stan Lee, kind of a creep, was maybe sexually harassing some nurses?
There's an article from the Daily Mail from a nurse company apparently saying that he did something. I haven't actually seen it. I've just seen people talking about it, so I don't know all the facts. But I have some people saying that it was just a nursing company that contacted the tabloid about it. But his current nurse company has replied and said he's never been anything but a gentleman.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Maybe
I
don't
want to
know.
believe that about Stanley because he's got that
really hope
kind
it's not
of
true.
that P.T. Barnum quality to him. He's got a kind of Hugh Hefner quality to him, and I want to believe that actually
there he is
underneath
again.
that, he's
There's
just
Clark Gregg.
Clark Gregg again.
Yep,
I
there he is.
cannot
There he is.
believe I forgot he was in this movie. Oh man. I'm gonna go to my assistant and make eyes at her. You know, her bangs make me want straight across bangs, but Elizabeth is right. I am never happy when I get straight across bangs.
You also have a new haircut, which is rocking right now.
Thank you. I mean, it's a couple weeks old and I need to do something about it. I need to recolor my hair. And now I'm just going through my to-do list. Sorry, listeners at home.
Hey, Jarvis, take a note. It's just we're avoiding the sexual tension is what it is.
I'm not avoiding it. I'm leaning into it.
Leaning right into it.
Leaning, like burying my face right in it. That's
this
gross. I
dance
shouldn't
floor
say that.
is a little weird. Are people on different levels?
Maybe.
There's different levels of this dance floor. Which
and
is
some of them
dangerous.
looked as though they're sloped slightly.
Yeah, it looks like there's like an angle maybe.
Some of these people are getting Dutch angle treatment in the background of the shot, which I'm kind of into.
Because I know RDJ isn't like 2 foot taller than everyone in the background here.
Isn't Gwyneth Paltrow like taller than RDJ in real life?
I'm wondering if that's true. I'm wondering if the reason that we're getting a slightly canted angle at the back here is because we're adjusting the angle to make them look as though they're the same height.
Because RDJ is dancing on an apple box.
They put him in heels and she's barefoot.
Yes.
She's really lovely.
She's very good in this too.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like her a lot.
Yes, I need some air.
Coulson does not look amused.
So we did go past that Stan Lee cameo pretty quick, but that is the first of many in the MCU.
Yeah,
Of course, Stan Lee
yeah.
makes cameos in all the films, so even outside the MCU, before the MCU.
Yes,
but
in the Spider-Man
yeah.
films, right? Is that where that started?
Good question. I'm
Ooh,
not sure
boy,
what
the first Spider-Man.
Stan Lee
He's been doing them for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I don't remember.
I can confirm,
it's not
by the way,
in
that
He
any X-Men, right?
used to introduce the
no,
cartoons,
he's
which was
in
fantastic.
some of the X-Men movies too. I'm going to look up a list of Stan Lee cameos. I can confirm that RDJ and Gwyneth Paltrow are the same height, 5'9".
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
Wow.
nice.
so
Going back
tall.
just slightly to
not as tall
Stan
as you
Lee
guys,
and
I
whether
guess. I don't
he's a good or a bad guy, we do have to admit that Stan Lee does have a track record of stealing people's work and saying
That's
things about them
true.
that aren't
no,
true and
sure,
making up
sure.
histories of Marvel Comics.
That is, yes.
Well, he is a little
absolutely
beloved
fair.
old
Yes.
man.
Maybe a little skeevy without
there-
being a sexual predator.
Well,
Okay.
and it might be true. I don't know. I'm not
Stan
gonna
Lee's
say
first
one way or the
Marvel
other.
cameo was a hot
facts.
dog vendor in X-Men. Man in the year 2000. Then he was
Yes.
a bystander in Spider-Man in 2002. A young Matt Murdock saves him in 2003's Daredevil. Then he's in Spider-Man 2 in 2004. He was a postman in the Fantastic Four in 2005.
Holy
He
shit.
gets weirded out by Jean Grey at the beginning of X-Men 3 The Last Stand in 2006, which I think is also the cameo with Chris Claremont in it, if I recall
remember
correctly.
that.
He crashes a wedding in 2007's Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yes.
Hangs out with Peter Parker in Times Square in 2007's Spider-Man 3. Gets a drink in 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which is actually, the one right before this. So that's where we are. And then shows up in Iron Man. So by this point, he's already done a solid half dozen cameos in Marvel adjacent movies.
Wow.
So we're just leaning into the tradition. At some point, we're going to get the first movie without a Stan Lee cameo, and that's going to be Guardians, I guess. Guardians did the Stan Lee stand-in rather than an actual cameo.
Did they?
I don't remember if we get a cameo.
I don't
No,
remember.
no,
The
there's
second one we
definitely
definitely
okay.
did, but I
Guardians,
don't-
there definitely is. It's whenever Rocket and Groot are on the planet looking around, and he's got like Rocket has the little computer in front of him, and they're trying to find a bounty, and you see Stan Lee up on the bridge with a couple.
Oh,
of
no, you're right.
ladies.
You're right. Yeah, no, I was
Right.
thinking of because he was replaced. He was supposed to be in the collector's collection, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, the Netflix stuff have a history now of just having a Stan Lee picture.
Yes, yes.
Is that true?
Yeah. Every show has a picture of Stan Lee somewhere.
Okay.
How funny.
This is our turning point. Where are we in the movie? Are we?
Where are we?
At the halfway mark? Yeah, almost at the halfway mark. Okay, so this is our Act 2 turn. Tony has just discovered that Obadiah Stane has been dealing under the table. This is the turn.
Uh
Look at his
oh.
eyes
Oh,
and
he's so
intensity.
mad.
Good, solid
So
second
upset.
act
Was the
midpoint.
only
That's
one
so strong.
I could- yeah.
Ugh.
Ooh.
RDJ, you are a national treasure. Also, I really like Obadiah Stane's man scarf.
I was going to say also, I like these background actors who are acting very upset.
Do we have to gender scarves
dang
now?
it.
Well,
Is his man scarf a specific thing?
it's a scarf being worn by a man. It's a
Okay,
man
no, I was just curious. I wasn't, Sarah. This was my ignorance. I do not know if a man scarf is a particular type of scarf.
I mean, I don't think that they would call it a man scarf. They would probably call it like a men's scarf.
It's just a very masculine scarf.
Yeah. It's just a length of fabric.
It's okay. I'm sorry. You seem to be feeling attacked, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean
No,
to
it's
criticize you
fine.
here.
Oh, he's so mad.
Yep. The world is outside of his control, and he wants to bring it back into control.
God, I remember almost nothing about this movie. I didn't realize that they also included the 10 rings in this film.
Yeah. It's almost an Easter egg, really.
Yeah. Well, and especially at that point, I knew nothing about anything. So vis-a-vis Marvel and comics and
So again, Iron Man works brilliantly as an origin story, not because it tells us how he gets his powers, but it tells us why he is the hero that he is.
Yes.
That is what differentiates for me a strong origin story from a weak origin story. That's why Captain America: The First Avenger is so knockout good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to, watch Thor in a couple of weeks and kind of compare that origin story because we don't even necessarily get an origin story for Thor. I mean, like he's
Almost
Thor,
barely.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
let's
boy.
do this thing.
Oh boy.
This is it.
Check out that sweet Under Armour.
We're also not going to get an origin story really in The Incredible Hulk. They'll just tell us quickly in the title because it is technically a sequel
To
a film
Ang
that's
Lee's
not in the,
The Hulk.
MCU.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a little
It's
confusing.
so okay. So why exactly did they make that choice? Aside from the fact that the Ang Lee Hulk is very bad.
I mean, I think they just
Why did they make the choice to make it a pseudo sequel, or why did they make
Why
the
did they
choice
make the
to?
choice to not include that Hulk film in the MCU?
Oh well, it's incompatible with the Norton film. I
see.
That the Eric Bana version. It's just a very different kind of Hulk
Okay.
movie.
they're basically just saying, "Hey, there is a Hulk, and this is how he was created."
Yeah, we
Ignore
give
that
a
film.
gloss of the Ang Lee version in like a very non-specific way right at the beginning of the Edward Norton Hulk
Mm-hmm.
movie, and that's it's there is a Hulk. That's enough. This guy changes into the Hulk when he gets
Yeah.
excited. That's it. That's all you need to know, and you come right in. It's more like Spider-Man: Homecoming.
okay.
Which, yeah,
the
it
sense
kind
that
of
we-
started the tradition of we don't need to retell this origin
Yeah,
story.
exactly
Right.
Just
right.
throw
Exactly
them
right.
real quick in the title.
Which, for all the criticisms that are levied against superhero stories in general, we don't have that many origin stories in the
No, we
MCU.
really don't.
Really.
It sure would be nice to get a Black Widow movie, especially now that we're going like 2 years in a row with movies that are basically Black Widow movies.
Sweetie, we're
and aren't
getting
exactly,
we're getting
it's
100%.
called Red Sparrow.
Red
No,
Sparrow,
I know, but it's not. Is the
100%
thing.
Black Widow.
The thing is that it's not.
Okay, we'll watch that trailer after we finish
Oh
recording
my god,
this commentary because
it is seriously like it's
this point, I just feel
literally
like
a Black Widow film.
We can't get a Black Widow film because so many other people have done it. It's not Marvel.
No, okay, no. We don't get to say that. That's not how that's not how we do.
We were talking about this yesterday, having watched the Red Sparrow trailer, and I would not be surprised if at the end of the first act, Jennifer Lawrence just pulls off like a face mask and reveals Scarlett Johansson. It was a Black Widow movie all along. Late Marvel title card. Ha ha! Gotcha.
They're called Red Sparrows. She goes to a place and
The Red
is
Room?
trained to
Yep.
be an assassin. Like it has to be the Red Room, right? What are
So
they gonna
do you think at the end Clark Gregg shows up and says, "We'd like to ask you to join the Avengers, but you need to change your name to Black Widow"? It's actually a Black Widow origin story.
Could be into that.
But why not use Scarlett Johansson?
Well, because if you're going to go origin, now you have to go back, 15 years at this point?
Yeah. That's my concern about Red Sparrow, honestly, is that I'm just going to be so upset that it's not a Black Widow movie.
Oh,
that
that's
I
going to
might
be me
not
the
enjoy
whole
it.
time. I mean, I'm still going to be able to enjoy it. Like,
Hello.
I enjoyed Atomic Blonde. This
What's
is
up?
the
It is.
best part
Well,
of this movie.
That guy's
like,
dead.
That guy's dead. That guy's dead.
This
That guy's
dead.
definitely
His bombs
dead.
obviously went off.
Okay, they just saw this robotic man show up and blast all these people, and they still think that it's a good idea to like threaten these other civilians.
Well, I think at this point they're probably just saying, let us go, let us go, let us go.
They're all dead.
Those guys are all definitely
Strong
dead.
target discrimination, Tony. He's got a lot of faith in his weapons tech right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, good thing he tested all this, shooting all those cans in the garage.
Just went out to the woods.
Yeah.
Set up a line of
The
bottles
wood
along an old
is-
fence.
Yeah, in the woods and. Oh man,
Love this.
That guy's dead.
Oh, he may just be really, really hurt.
He appears to not be dead.
Yeah, his bones should all
he's
be
about
crushed.
Oh,
to
he's
be
about to
dead.
be dead. Yeah,
He was
okay,
pulled
fair
through a
enough.
concrete
Yeah,
wall.
no, absolutely. That man is
Yeah.
basically raspberry jam. Oh,
Love it.
The camera shake, the
Yep.
real bassy sound there, all works very
John Favreau
well.
has such a talent for that. It's just gorgeous.
The scorched
the
mask.
scorched suit is so good.
This is a special edition action figure, battle damage Iron Man.
This
And
is
there's
such,
the
this
shot.
Is, this
Oh!
shot is so good.
It's a
I'm
good
sorry,
shot.
I just
It's a
made
good
the
shot.
thing clip
Heroes
like
don't
crazy.
look
I
at
bet.
explosions. That's
There's some good cinematography in all of the MCU. There's so many scenes in the MCU that you can just take and make a desktop wallpaper that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, yes. Iconic.
There's
Have
a-
you guys seen that fan made? It's oh god, I'm gonna have to find it. I sent it to myself on Twitter, but it's like this fan made video over on YouTube with just a bunch of different shots from like all of the MCU movies, and there's this like rap song over the top of it, and it is like amazing and like energetic and
Oh, yeah?
fantastic. Like, I'm gonna have to find it because we need to put it into the show notes of this
Okay.
episode because like it is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I mean, like the music is just like so loud and percussive, and it's all these like it just keeps cutting to shots of like people punching and shooting and blowing things up, and it's
a lot of
okay.
perfect 3-point landings, that kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. A lot of superhero landings. It's bad for the knees. I have to find this.
We have an AWAC and a Global Hawk in the area. Thank you. I have no idea what that means.
The AWACS is the big airplane that has the giant satellite
Yeah, you've
UFO
seen those.
looking disc
Okay,
on the top of
okay.
it. My dad works on those
They fly out of
at
Tucson
the
sometimes.
Air Force
I was
Base.
gonna
Yep.
say, you're
No,
very
he doesn't work at the
knowledgeable
Air
about
Force Base
these.
anymore. He works for the FAA. He retired from the military. I forgot. Sorry, Dad.
Great cell phone
Yeah, the
reception
cell
in the
phone
Iron
right
Man
there.
suit.
Up that high in the sky.
The
even.
suit is also a cell tower. Is the thing.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
What the hell is that noise?
Okay, where? This is gonna take me a while.
This is a setup for
That's
exactly what we would
that's a
expect from the
hotspot.
Iron Man movie, where like he's gonna he's lying, he's driving, he's jogging in the canyon, he's lying about who he is, and then we're gonna get the immediate reveal. Because Tony Stark, good at many things, not good at being an incognito superhero.
I really like this lie. I'm out of breath because I was jogging in the canyon. I thought you were driving. Well, I'm driving to the canyon to go jogging. Why are you out of breath then? I'm very confused. You have no good logic here. You have not yet arrived at the canyon.
Ballroom.
Whiplash.
This is Whiplash 1. Whiplash 1. There you go.
Easter egg
Nice.
there for Whiplash. This music.
The music got really intense. I got really excited. Did I find it? Yes, I found it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Definitely can't play that audio right now.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
gonna be an
sorry.
audio
I'm sorry.
Check the show notes for the video that Sarah just found.
I'm sorry.
If you
Gosh,
start,
I'm just worse
if you start that
today.
video at that time, the audio will sync up with your commentary. It's very meta.
It's not meta at all. I'm just a dumbo.
It turns out that if you start the movie Iron Man right at the beginning of this commentary track, our commentary syncs up with it perfectly. And I'm watching Dark Side of the Moon right now, as I always am. Listening to Dark Side of the Moon. Blew that joke.
While watching
I have
Wizard of
synesthesia
Oz.
also, so when I
Wizard
listen
of
to Dark
Oz.
Side of the Moon, I also
You
see
taste
it.
the color purple?
I
What
taste
are you
the color
saying? None of us are at our best. God, we're bad at commentaries, is what I think. Maybe
Don't say that in the first one.
Yeah, we got a lot of these to do
We
still.
do have a lot of them to do. Should we take notes for the
Oh,
next
look at that
ones?
phone. There's a normal phone from 2008. Wow, phones have really
Wait, is that the
grown
Iron
a
Man
lot
theme
in
song?
10
2008.
years.
I don't
Yes,
recognize
that's
that at
the
all.
Iron Man theme song. And also you'll note that his name in Rhodey's context is the Starkster.
The Starkster?
I'd like to
Starkster.
think that Tony put his name in there himself.
Oh, he absolutely did. He was still workshopping his nicknames.
Rhodey can't work his cell phone. Rhodey's
No.
VCR is constantly blinking 12. Even
Yep.
now. Also,
I
he has
choose
a
to
VCR.
believe that he can work his cell phone just fine, but Tony keeps hacking it.
Ah, no, I like that better. That's
Changing
really
the
good.
contact names. Looks
Like some sort of Iron Man.
some metallic man. I assume he's made out of iron because what else would he be made of? I don't know.
Tungsten.
Oh,
shit.
Oh,
Oh, this is not ideal. This
no,
is
this
less
is all
than
very
ideal.
bad.
Well,
Cheesy, crazy.
that's not what you want.
That guy's dead
You
too.
really don't remember this film, do you?
No, I really don't.
Wow.
Tony, get him.
It's a very good camera angle.
Oh.
A man falling from the sky.
My chute's jammed. Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
Come on, Tony.
Faster, Tony.
Yeah, don't Spider-Man this one up either.
What is that? No Spider-Man?
Oh,
gosh.
no,
My heart.
no, no.
My heart. Don't you attack my
Oh.
boy.
That's when your sweet soft boy tries to save his girlfriend with a web and her
Oh,
neck
that's
snaps.
not. No. We don't
Yeah,
count that one. That's
yeah.
not my sweet
Don't,
soft boy.
Don't Gwen
I
Stacy
mean,
this.
that's comic book.
I mean, sure,
More,
but you
yeah.
know that I literally
But
only care about
Some
the.
people still believe that she was dead before he did that
Well,
because Green Goblin
Yes.
is a jerk.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have
Good
to rewatch.
shoot.
Woo, yeah.
Is that like military terminology? I like that. Good shoot.
There's a hot
They're
shot.
good
That's a
shoots,
hot
Brent.
shot. It's a dumb joke.
That's
for
two
me
Jimmys
and
in a
the
hot
three people
one.
who
There's
know
my
about
military
Bill
reference.
Engvall jokes.
Not a military reference.
Well, no, sweetie.
Plausible deniability, Rhodey. That's what you want.
This is amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Nice Whedon cut here.
I need to get some more water.
Okay.
BRB.
Burb.
Just for me. They'll
Look
still
at
be
that
here.
angry Obadiah and his rug. He's got a nice rug back there. I just like to
Really
point
ties
out.
the
White
room
Russian.
together.
Oh, what was he drinking? I missed it.
Oh my God. If it was a White Russian, that would be the best. Oh,
Dun, dun,
that's
dun.
skepticism right there.
Look at that. Glass is all gone. Very interesting. Pepper is very interested in how she doesn't have to use the door anymore.
Oof.
Yeah. Let's let that machine take the suit off you that could just tear your limbs away.
Yep. Bad at hiding the fact that he is Iron Man. Great line. Oh, Pepper.
She's so worried.
I'm not seeing those horizontal
Sweet.
wipes everywhere, by the way.
Yeah,
I've never
right?
noticed those in this movie
I've never
before.
noticed that before either. They do happen very quickly. There's an interesting conversation to be had that we cannot have and probably will not have here on the commentary about how a Tony Stark, an Iron Man film is coded after, or how it's been affected by a post 9/11 world with terrorism and the way that these things work and how this played into the making of the film, even though it is so close to what the comics were
Yeah,
originally.
no, it's really interesting that we've kind of come full circle on that.
There's probably a really interesting
way.
blog out there about
Yeah.
that. That's where you can go find that information, not here on the Excelsior podcast. I have no notes. I cannot go into any kind of deep dive on anything.
No, there is, I think the discourse surrounding issues of weapons technology, particularly within the frame of the MCU, where we're dealing with, people of extraordinary abilities. And obviously we're going to address this in Civil War when we get to the Sokovia Accords and we get to the idea that these powers should be constrained in some way. There's a really interesting conversation to be had that the Marvel Universe has kind of had only in the most superficial way with regard to the Sokovia Accords. I remember talking with you before Civil War came out, when we were talking about the whole Registration Act from the comic version of the Civil War and how interesting that conversation would be. And I love Civil War. I think it's a great movie, but we never really had that discussion in the frame of the MCU.
Yeah.
We still might. I think that would be maybe something better suited to a season 4 of Daredevil on Netflix or something like that, where we can really address these issues. Almost works better within the frame of the Defenders and the Netflix series, maybe more than the more high octane superheroics that we get from the movies.
Yeah, we're not going to get that deep into the movies, I don't think.
I would have the 2-hour conversation, right? I would have the movie that is just my dinner with Cap, where it's just Tony Stark and Cap sitting down and talking all of this out. I'm 100% into that.
I need at least need that for a special feature. That would be nice.
Oh,
this is not the way you want to go.
And so our real baddie kills off our stand-in baddie.
Yep. And now, in case you didn't already, you know who the real bad guy is.
Oh, didn't see the 10 Rings emblem in the background there before. That's good. Yeah.
It was really bothering me that in the last scene, they walked past a tiny little fire. Some soldiers are gathered around. That fire is like 6 inches by 6 inches. What is that fire doing?
That's not keeping you warm, guys.
It's not
That's
doing
not keeping you
anything.
warm.
There were like 20 men here. There's no reason for this tiny little fire. I hope we see it again. Are we going to see it again? No. It's gone. Oh, there
it is.
I think that's it. It doesn't quite look the same as the one I remember seeing, but it's still tiny. We have a larger fire pit than that on the porch.
We do, yes. So Obadiah Stane has recovered the Mark I Iron Man armor and is going to upgrade it into the Ironmonger armor, which I don't think is ever actually named in the movie.
No, but he does tell Tony at one point that they're Ironmongers, which is kind of like a little reference to that. It does put an interesting thing out there that he makes his bigger and somewhat better in some ways in a militaristic way.
Yeah.
But it does show that Stark is where this technology comes from. Stark is the better one at designing. He can better put these things together, and therefore Obadiah never stood a chance.
There is an interesting article I read once comparing Tony Stark to Steve Jobs and Obadiah Stane to like either Steve Wozniak or Bill Gates. Like either way, like one is like the brute force solution. One is just that you just pour energy and attention into this thing and make it bigger and bigger and bigger until it does what you want it to do. The other designer comes in and finesses it.
Yes.
That's where Tony Stark excels, is the finesse.
Yeah.
That's why I love like the interaction of the control surfaces on the Iron Man suit. It's so precise and clean and gorgeous. It's so
also
strong.
his suit just fits so much better. He's got a nice little butt on there.
Yeah.
Obadiah's got nothing on that. His big bulky war suit.
Oh.
What did I miss?
You're coming in on the conversation between Tony and Pepper, where he's trying to get her to go into Stark Industries and access the mainframe to get the details of all the shipping. All the weapon shipments that are going overseas, which gives us that great sequence between Pepper and Obadiah, which is coming up in just a minute.
Okay,
Obadiah Stane has gone
that.
into the desert and has killed off the 10 Rings and reclaimed the Mark I suit, and we're ready now to move into the third act. We're transitioning into the third act right now.
Excellent.
Right now.
Did you guys make any good jokes while I was gone?
No.
We're
not funny without you.
You took jokes with you when you left the room.
That can't possibly be true, you guys.
Sarah, you are the heart and soul of this show.
Please.
I need you so
Aw.
badly.
I mean, I need you both too, but mostly to keep me grounded and not just like drool all over the beautiful women in these films and men.
And occasionally Clark Gregg.
Well, I mean, I don't drool over Clark Gregg. Like, I would high five Clark Gregg and be like, just so stoked that he was there.
Do you not think Clark Gregg is a good looking man?
No, I think that he's very good looking, but I am not attracted.
Just
I
not
think
your
he's
type.
attractive.
Okay,
I am
I
not
see that.
attracted to him. I'm allowed to feel that way.
No, of course you are. No, absolutely. No, I was asking out of genuine curiosity. He always struck me as a very attractive man.
Yeah, no. He is a very attractive man, not my type.
Okay. This is a great office.
He would be a great dad surrogate. I mean,
like
I
this
have an
office.
amazing father, so I don't need a dad surrogate, but if
I
I
like
did.
very much that in this movie where we have all of this outlandish sci-fi user interface stuff, all the UI elements in
The Stark tech stuff is still
This
Windows
is just,
98.
Yes. I mean, that type of
no,
interface
it's
is very
kind of
expensive.
more like OS X. It's kind of got a Linuxy quality to it as well. It's obviously custom, right? Tony Stark
Hey,
coded
look,
this over
there's
a
the
weekend.
technology right there in the file fan.
There it is.
Also, in how quickly it can open. I think my
It's a
Mac
top
doesn't open
secret
files
sector
that
16.
quickly.
That's so good. The one labeled top_secret, that's the one you want.
That's what I'm going to call all of my files from now. Ultra
Ultra-secret. Oh, I stand
Ooh.
corrected.
That's right. Obadiah is the one who made sure that Tony got
He's
kidnapped.
behind it all.
I would like my computer to just have a thing where I can code in, translate, and then we just
How
start
is there not just a button?
There is a visual AR thing, an augmented reality thing that you can get through Google that'll do that if you hold it up to text.
Yeah.
And it'll translate the text like
I used
live
to
in
have
real
one that
time,
would
which
do
is pretty
signs.
cool.
It was for like traveling. You could
yeah.
hold up to a sign that would tell you what it said.
That's so good.
Hey. Hey, Obi. How's it
Just,
going?
looking at your
Ooh.
internet search history
Yeah.
here, it's not good.
Like, Pepper, girl, I need you to not look as horrified as you do in this moment, because, babe,
Come on, Pepper. Poker face. You can do this.
you all right? What's wrong?
Minesweeper's a fun game. Just thought I'd play some of that. You want to join me on a game of solitaire?
No, this is just the sequence in Spider-Man Homecoming when Ned gets caught in the computer lab. and claims that he's
I'm
at
looking
porn.
Yeah.
at
Porn?
porn.
At work, Pepper, that's clearly an HR violation. Screensaver. There it is.
Okay, and now, okay, yeah, she, like, here's the thing is that Pepper is very, very competent. Well, I guess she did just find out that this guy tried to kill her boss / paramour.
Well, she's very competent in a business setting. She's not a super spy. She needs to take some lessons
true.
from someone who's probably going to be in her employ very soon. I love that character introduction. It's so good.
God, I'm so excited. I am ashamed that I spent as long as I did thinking that I was not gay.
You don't have to be ashamed
It's
of a damn
really a
thing.
shame.
You don't have to be ashamed of a damn thing. We're all works in progress there.
That's
not
right.
in the Tony Stark way, where you know,
Well, if the
constantly
Iron Man
revise your
suit
suit.
was somehow gay,
your sexuality.
yes, then yes.
This is my Mark 50 sexuality.
Yep, this is where I'm at now. Her hair looks great.
He's such a good choice for this. Like you
He
can
really
imagine
is
this
fantastic,
being played
yeah.
in just a much more straightforward, villainous way. Oh,
She's lucky the files didn't get corrupted when she just yanked out the
yeah, you have to safely
USB.
eject that.
I mean, I
Everybody
never
knows
do.
that.
I live life on the edge.
No one ever does. No one has ever used the safely eject this drive functionality on their computer.
Okay, bye.
Okay, see you later.
Oh, geez, get out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Run,
See
Pepper,
ya.
run.
Oh, God.
Don't look at it. What?
What do you do?
Why are you
she
looking
could-
at it?
Ostensibly, she could be looking at her phone.
No, that's definitely the.
No, I'm saying that if he saw her like looking down
Oh,
at
I
her
see.
hand.
I see. Oh, download complete.
Complete.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Better
Oh,
look
still
out.
walking.
Pep,
He
pep,
can't
pep,
see you.
pep, pep.
He can't see you, but you're still walking.
Ah!
Clark Gregg, come with me. Okay.
It's the scene. We're here.
I cannot believe that I forgot that Clark Gregg was all over this movie.
Yeah.
Technology doesn't actually exist.
Oh, this is so intimidating.
It's impossible.
Oh, William.
With a box of scraps.
Oh.
We're all too into this movie to talk about it right now.
I'm not Tony Stark.
No,
I
you
love
certainly
the
are
line read.
not.
It's
You think
so
that guy's dead?
Good.
That guy's
Oh,
dead.
that guy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh, yeah.
Obadiah like murdered that guy.
Just as soon as it cut, he just broke his neck.
Just snapped it like a
Yeah.
twig. Yeah.
Color display.
Wow. High tech. Oh, this is.
What is this?
Oh, you
the
missed this.
paralyzer?
This has already been. We've already seen this happen. It's a
This was
device that
used-
incapacitates the target.
And we'll
Obadiah
never
used
use it
this.
again in any Marvel movie ever.
Well, it's
I
staying
don't-
technology.
No, I feel like there was something like this used in Agents of Shield, but
Oh yeah, there is.
Oh
something
yeah,
like
no,
Shield.
it's the thing that you have to duck down because it has an
Right.
area of effect that's like at waist level.
that's right. Ward's little
Yes. The first couple of seasons of Agents of Shield, like, okay, I'm really enjoying what they're doing with Agents of Shield right now, but like the first few seasons are so good,
Yeah.
and then Marvel straight up was like, "There's no more Shield anymore," and the
Yeah.
show was like, okay,
Okay, thanks.
Space
I
then."
don't know. I like the first season for sure. I like there's a few things, but I can see why people have a hard time getting into Agents of Shield. And for those people, I recommend you just read the Wikipedia
Power
page
through
and
it.
jump straight to the Ghost Rider. If not, just after the Ghost Rider, the mid-season.
Oh no,
break.
I disagree. You need Bobby.
Yes, but
You can skip season
I
one,
think-
is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
You can skip. There are a
Yeah.
couple episodes in season one that you really need to watch, but maybe 3 or 4 eps in season one until you get to turn and the Winter Soldier reveal. That's the moment where Shield just steps
it's
the
just
hell up.
that-
And when you hit that point, you look back at season one and you see, oh, whoa, you were building to this the entire
Yeah,
time. There's
yeah.
so much
Yeah.
there that I didn't notice the first time. But yeah.
the last half season of Shield was just the best that Shield has ever been, and then somehow this current season is just topping that. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
so
hear it's
good.
amazing. I'm so far behind with Agents
But
of Shield.
God,
It's
I miss
ridiculous,
Bobby
but
so
yeah.
much every day.
Always and forever.
Always and
deal.
forever. My girl.
They have mentioned her a few times
Look at
because they
how
brought
this
back
scene-
Hunter.
I know.
Look, okay, look. We've had this canted Dutch angle as he's leaning over Tony Stark to make them evil, but also it gives us that villainous sense. And the way the camera pivots down as he sits, it's so good. This is beautifully
And
shot.
Tony looks frickin' awful
Yeah.
right here.
Well, he's just had his heart pulled out. I mean, that'll do it to
He
you.
is dying.
He's incapacitated by that device, and then he has his heart removed. Pretty bad.
How is his blood pumping?
Slowly.
Oh.
Poorly.
Also, there's shrapnel like digging its way into his heart.
Yes.
No, that's later because of the magnetism of the arc reactor.
No, the arc reactor is in place to stop the shrapnel from penetrating his heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can't remove the shrapnel because.
No, we're getting into what the hell is Tony Stark's arc reactor, and that's a bigger conversation I don't think we have time for right now.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, he looks terrible. Look at his eyes. Look at all the acting he's doing with his eyes.
This is nigh horror level of filmmaking right
Yeah,
here. This
yeah.
way this scene is done, with the eyes just turning.
that whole
slightly.
speech is fantastic.
Oh,
Really
God.
great performance by Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
Everyone's afraid of paralyzation, right? That's
Yeah.
not like a.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no,
individual
I
fear.
Mm-mm.
Do you suffer from sleep paralysis, Sarah? Do I
No,
remember you
but
talking
Vincent
about that
does.
before?
I
it's
sure do.
You that suffer
Yeah.
from sleep paralysis.
I
That's
haven't
what
had it in a
was.
long time, but oh yeah, I have lots of
Wow,
stories about
that's
sleep
terrifying,
paralysis.
yeah.
It is the most worst thing
Oh.
ever.
Nope, it's never happened to me, fortunately.
Oh,
The closest I've gotten is like those dreams where you wake up and everything is going totally normal, and then suddenly you wake up again and you're
I
like,
have
oh
those.
wait,
Oh, yeah,
I just
yeah,
had,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just, I did all this. You mean the dishes aren't done?
I had a dream that I took the ACT before I actually had to take the ACT. The night before, when I went to sleep, I had a dream. I went,
No.
drove to the place, took the test, got done, came home to take a nap, and then woke up and realized I hadn't done
Oh,
any of it.
no,
And I was
that's the worst.
The angriest I've ever been.
yeah.
golly.
Did you have like a prophetic vision of what was in the test? Did you sit down
Oh,
and say,
man,
I
I
know
wish.
this?
I really wish that would happen. I did get pretty good grades on it, but still,
What did you make on your ACT?
it's a good question. I don't remember.
Oh, I made a 29.
That was
My math scores were
that
really
was
bad.
no idea if that's
14
good or
years
bad. I don't
ago?
know how you
Oh,
scale
I
the
think
ACT.
the highest is 36, or is it 32?
I don't remember.
It's either 32 or
Look,
36.
14 years since
Dummy.
I thought about this.
Dummy!
Dummy.
Here's your
Thanks,
heart.
dummy.
Bye, Stark. Hope you find your heart.
Good boy. Aw.
Oh, even Dummy gets an arc in this movie. It's so good.
Love Dummy.
Yeah, highest is either 32 or 36. I just remember that because my math and science scores were so deplorable that I just barely missed. If I had gotten a 30, I would have gotten a full ride to basically any college in the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the essay questions were the ones that threw me because I didn't feel like I'd have time, and time tests freaked me out, and so
Oh,
I
yeah?
finished all of them.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I should not
There
have
it
gone to
is.
college. God, what a waste of time and money. I dropped out.
You're
so.
sharing a lot of regret here on the Excelsior commentary
don't,
track
like,
for
am
Iron
I?
Man. And it feels like you are a little bit. Do you regret your life up to this point? I'm obviously recording a commentary track for Iron Man is the high point.
Yes. I mean, I did get married a couple years ago. That was pretty good.
I stand by what I said. It's a very good movie.
No, again, it's just, I'm here with my friends. We're watching a movie. I feel very comfortable. It's early in the morning. I'm not as feisty as usual. I'm just a little more contemplative. I had a breakfast sandwich, but that probably wasn't enough.
That's not going to be enough.
It's not gonna be
5
enough.
shield agents.
Tony
is not-
knows.
One of them
that.
is Phil Coulson. Oh, we're fine. We're
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, nobody knows.
Nobody knew.
Well,
Nobody
at
knew
this
that
point,
Phil
too,
Coulson
Phil
could have
Coulson,
handled all of this.
he's not Phil Coulson yet.
He's just an unnamed dude, isn't
No,
he?
I mean, no, he is Agent Coulson from
Okay,
S.H.I.E.L.D., but I
sure.
mean, he's not the guy that he will
He's
become because he
not.
becomes that guy
Yeah.
because of the events of Avengers. It's so,
That's true.
God, I love Clark Gregg.
He's so very good.
As I've said before, I think probably even on this podcast, you should go and watch the 2-season Aaron Sorkin sitcom Sports Night.
That
which
was
is
a weird camera angle. Did you see that? They were like super zoomed in on the number and then super zoomed out real quick.
Well, I didn't notice it,
That
no.
was very
Wow.
odd. Sorry. Continue.
Oh, what's that? It's like a little device. It's like a thing that's going to pick the lock. You might want to take a few steps back. God, that's so good.
All the agents just turning around.
Also, one point to argue that he is the Agent Coulson we've always
Oh, yeah,
loved
no,
right
he's,
there.
yeah.
He just like levels up. He just becomes more Coulson.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be sharing weird regrets on this
Wow.
show, gang. I'm sorry.
You're honest and vulnerable, and we love you for it.
Okay.
That's okay. I also made comments about Stan Lee that might be very horrible.
Well, no, we
a few
did- I mean,
days from
like-
now when we find out he is a horrible sexual predator.
Yeah.
Who I don't know what that's happened. I haven't read any of that stuff, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I shouldn't have
No.
commented on it.
I don't know.
I have regrets too.
But we're
Like
learning.
Tony Stark, we're all wrestling with our regrets here today on the Excelsior
a theme.
Oh,
podcast.
God. Can you? Yeah. Oof. Next time, baby. Yeah.
Not for
Not
you,
for you,
Terrence.
though, Terrence Howard.
So originally, in the end of this film, they were going to have a scene where the Audi car there was going to be flipped into the Ironmonger suit to like take out the legs,
Like a
But-
transformer?
Well, just like jumped and flipped into
Sure.
it, like thrown into it. Basically,
Oh,
as a
it did
projectile.
not transform
no.
into. Okay.
But they couldn't get the car was built too well, and they
Oh.
couldn't get it to do what they wanted to or break the way they wanted it to because it was just built too damn well. So they had to give up on that idea of destroying an Audi because it was built too well.
That's pretty incredible.
That's amazing.
And suddenly this movie just turns into a horror movie for 30
Yep.
seconds.
Uh-oh.
It's so
Uh-oh.
weird. Such a
Uh-oh.
weird choice.
What are you doing? You're being so spoopy.
Ambient spoopy audio.
Spoopy audio from Common Room Radio.
Boo!
That was it right there. That was all we needed.
I'm sorry for that.
Oh, I clipped so hard all over the place.
I mean, I yelled boo into the mic.
I shouldn't have this in front of you so you can
No.
see how badly you clip. This seems like a bad choice.
Uh-oh.
So, okay, wait a second though. Because that means that when Obadiah Stane was behind the chains, he was just crouched down. He was just crouched down in a little ball. He's
waiting.
like, you can't see me.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to like keep tabs on how often a Marvel movie has a woman running from a hulking type of figure. It's gonna be at
interesting.
least once more.
Yeah, a couple more times that I can think of off the top of my head, but yeah.
I'm great.
Oh, this podcast brought to you by Kellogg's.
Hey, look, it's a mole man. I mean, Ironmonger.
An iron mole.
An iron mole. Digging right up from the earth.
Again, fantastic design.
Horrifying. Utterly horrifying.
Genuinely horrifying. Like you can see the evolution, you can see what he's going for. It's awful.
Oh. This is representative of the patriarchy, probably.
Ah,
Probably
No.
so.
See, I don't like the idea that another man had to take out the patriarchy, though. I don't like
Fair.
that idea.
Yeah.
Black Widow could have done it. Bring Black Widow into this film, please.
we're
Oh,
looking
this
for
poor
Riri
family.
Williams here. That's going to be Iron Man 4.
Oh
Oh my
It's gonna
god,
be the
yes,
introduction of
yes,
Ironheart.
yes, yes.
I need a Riri Williams film. Stat. Well,
Great camera shot from
that's a
inside the
family
car
there.
there. That's very good. Hey, Obadiah, why did you take the time to get the Batman voice changer inside your suit? Why did you do that?
Wow.
So good.
So I know that we're not gonna see this particular family again, but God, I wish, you know how like we frequently get shots of like rando family in the Marvel movies. I wish that it had been the same one through all of them.
I wish we had the time to just pause right there and look at this family and guess what all superheroes they become.
Yes.
They definitely do.
Or at least
right?
which one of them
they have
becomes
to. Yeah.
a superhero.
Yeah.
I think the little blonde boy in the back probably becomes something, right?
Yeah, definitely so.
My bike.
So that's setting a precedent for Marvel movies doing cool things with
Motorcycles?
Motorcycles.
Marvel hates motorcycles.
You know, Cap does it. Then
Does that
Bucky
say
does it later.
hydro-powered?
I was just thinking that hydro powered.
Hydrogen powered?
It definitely said Hydra. The
Hydrogen
hydrogen
powered.
powered. Yeah,
Embrace
no.
the future.
That was
Wait,
so good
that's
though.
bad though, because like hydrogen is what was in the Nuremberg?
Okay, you're thinking Hindenburg.
God damn it.
There's a Roxxon Corporation sign right
He,
there.
it was
Did you see
helium,
that?
wasn't it?
Yes.
Roxxon.
Fuck.
That was
Well,
a
hydrogen
Roxxon
also
sign.
very bad. Just you know. But that is actually a completely safe technology that is being used for municipal transport all over this fine land, all across the world. It's very good technology, very expensive to invest in, very expensive to build to begin with, but then it runs completely clean. The only byproduct is water, which is very
What
good.
was Nuremberg?
I don't want to get into the Nuremberg trials, Sarah. I don't want to.
Okay, no, that was okay. It happened
Okay.
after World War II
It did.
and Nazis and
Sure,
scientists.
yep,
Okay.
Yep.
I would just like to bring it back to the film with this Batman
Thank
voice that he's
you.
doing because it's just too much for me. Very impressive, you fucking arbitrary.
I'm sorry,
Why are
what?
you talking
Wait,
that
there's
way?
a
What
switch
is
just by your jaw.
happening?
Could you flick that? Could you just do that? See, I'm hoping now that in the wake of Spider-Man Homecoming, we can't do that in a movie anymore. The next Batman movie, whatever it is, isn't allowed to do Batman voice because we so effectively deconstructed that with the interrogation mode in Peter's suit in Spider-Man
Yes.
Homecoming.
Only Lego Batman is allowed to do Batman
Oh,
voice
look
now.
at that thing.
I do like to believe that he
terrible
just
for the
didn't take the
environment.
time to install proper speakers, so that's just really bad distortion in the speakers.
Well, I mean, like, you
You're
don't
clipping
anticipate
over that.
having
You
to,
gotta
like,
turn down the
talk
gain.
to
You just
anybody,
gotta-
right?
yeah.
I also would like the idea that he didn't install speakers or anything, and so he's trying to talk, but you can't hear me. Just like, and it's muffled behind the suit. Oh, darling, I'm gonna get you, and I'm so angry.
It's super not though, Obadiah. It doesn't even have a paint job.
Just imagine, just him talking behind the metal suit.
It's just Bane.
My suit is more advanced in every way, Batman.
I'm big.
Sorry. One more again. Sorry.
I already tried this.
And then the movement here. Oh,
If only he had flown in front of the moon and created the bat signal, much like we saw in 1989's Batman. It would have been a great reference. There's the Rockstar symbol back there again.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
You can't really see it in this shot. It's a little blurry, but we saw it clearly earlier. Don't get out. Don't get out.
Oh.
Don't get out. He's big. He's big. Well, that was nice.
yes.
This is a good moment where he holds the regular hand up and tries to blast him. Humans don't have that power. You don't have Jedi mind
Oh,
tricks.
jeez. Oh, no.
I was very excited as we move into the subsequent
The bear hug.
the subsequent movies as we start using parts of the Iron Man suit.
Yes.
When he's just wearing the glove in
Civil War. God,
It's
it's
such
so
a great
good.
moment.
And when he realizes that Bucky totally would have shot his damn
Yes.
hand off.
Yes.
Jeez. Least you could do is remember me. That was Nat, but anyway.
Very clever, Tony. Why am I talking slowly too?
Oh.
Pepper, I'm going to whisper to you in my suit.
I could just turn off the speakers in my suit and no one could hear me.
The master bypass button.
It's the button that says Master Bypass on it.
Very largely.
That is a lot of
It
glass.
looks like
Yeah.
snow on the ground.
It really
Yeah.
does.
What do we
High
think about the
voltage.
depiction of Pepper in this movie vis-a-vis women in Marvel? I'm now thinking, Sarah, about what you said about, women running away from terrifying monsters and large explosions throughout the MCU. What do we think of the way that we treat Pepper? Is she diminished by being a love interest for Tony Stark? Do we really emphasize her capability and her strength here as much as we should or as much as we'd like to?
I feel like they could. I'm always for like the further emphasis of women's competence in films, but I don't think that we sideline her very much. I think that we do. Considering that this film came out in 2008, I do think that we do a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
Again, we could always do better, but I don't think that it's like a travesty of her character or whatever. I mean, like she's currently the one who's running and like doing the stuff in the room with the master bypass button or whatever.
At the moment, Tony is the damsel.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Yeah.
He just had his Iron Man helmet smashed.
Yeah. No, there are criticisms of this movie that, Tony Stark is just vile to pepper, and that's true of the entire Iron Man trilogy. But the difference there is that the movie never sanctions what Tony is saying. The movie is always making it clear that Tony is being awful to her.
Yes, and she knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Tony
not ideal that
is
she's in
everything.
love with him while he's treating her so poorly. But I think that we end up fixing that. I think that we do end up like kind of.
I think in this movie, he treats her well enough that I can understand it. When he has that moment when she's replacing the arc reactor, and he says, "You are the most capable person that I've ever met," and he doesn't undercut it. He doesn't like take it back. It's just he means that.
Right.
I can see it in this movie better than I can in the subsequent movies.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to pay close attention to 2 and 3 and see what happens there. He's aware. Pepper, just hit the button. Pep. It literally said emergency master bypass button, gang.
Yep.
It was labeled by the people who made the Batcave.
I just snotted all over myself.
Hey, and there's our giant beam into the sky. We
got
that superhero movie without it.
There it is.
It's so little.
It's
comparatively
evolved so much in the films.
Oh.
Hey, does this movie have a post-credit sequence?
Yes.
That's
the most important one.
Okay, all right. That's going to be fun. We're going to have to continue the Coventry track all the way through the credits.
Yeah, we're just going to start like, whose line is it anyways? Calling out the credits.
Man, I loved Whose Line Was It Anyway when I was a kid.
So
it's amazing.
good.
It's still on.
I know. I haven't seen it in 15 years
you
at
can get
least.
it for free on the CW Seed app.
Wow.
It's one of
How
my
is that
favorite
app?
shows.
Is that good?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Does that do
things like
almost
so
live
CW
broadcast
has
week
its
to week?
own thing, and then CW Seed is a different thing. It's very confusing.
Okay, all right.
Very confusing.
Oh, the flickering arc reactor is so good.
Fade
Yeah,
to
we
black.
got 2 more big scenes to get to.
The blackest black.
Tony started to read a prepared statement to the press in coming moments. No injuries have been reported in association with the arc reactor malfunction.
On Star.
Oh, look at his cute little nose bandage.
The Iron Man. Wait, maybe this is the newspaper. This is the newspaper with the grainy photo. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was thinking I just missed him reading a newspaper earlier, but
Here's your alibi.
That's the photo.
Okay.
From the video.
Oh. Coulson, you're so capable. I love it.
Read it word for word.
Remember when S.H.I.E.L.D. was like super capable?
Yeah, I could
and
just
really
watch
great,
Clark Gregg being super capable
like
forever.
solving everybody else's problems. Always.
This isn't my first
we
rodeo.
anticipated that. No, we've done it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Is there good like Agent Coulson fanfic out there? Like, please send it my way.
I bet there
I'm
is.
sure there is. There's gotta be. If not, you could create it.
I could, yeah.
Oh, what a great sweet
That's
moment.
what we do. Just call it
But okay, I do remember now because I remember seeing that and being, what is S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, it seemed very important, but I didn't know what it was.
Get it, suit yourself.
Oh, it's a good suit. Hey,
I
RDJ,
love this terrible,
maybe don't
awful
deconstruct
banter.
the whole
Yeah.
setup.
I mean, you did it. Like, they don't kiss in this movie, do they?
I don't remember actually.
I don't think they do.
It's been a while since I've watched this. It seems like the setup right here.
I don't think they kiss in this one.
I hope that they don't at this point, but I honestly don't remember.
Because she's about to snipe at him and then walk off.
Power play,
Yep.
Pepper.
Ooh.
Calling him out for treating you
Like
badly. Good job.
Will that be all Mr. Stark?
Yeah, see, they don't kiss in this one. I like that quite
But
a
do
lot,
him
actually.
and Brody kiss? That's what
Yes.
I'm more interested in. Is
That's
that gonna
about to happen.
in this person? Nope, he's walking away. Come on, Brody.
Oh,
Just
Brody,
lean
come
in.
You know
closer.
you want to.
Come closer. We're all laughing because it's a joke.
Because you're crazy.
Because you're not going to stick to the cards at all.
That is the comic book story.
Oh.
I never said.
I never said you were a superhero. Didn't?
Did?
Fantastic in
That was
both
a
senses
good,
of the word. Yes.
facial expression she gave there. But it's like,
Just
no,
stick to the
come on,
cards,
man.
man. This is so very good.
Bro, teleprompter.
Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Good boy.
Yeah.
And then she's
Face
the
still
only one
sitting
sitting.
down.
She's like,
Yeah, she's
nah,
like,
I'm
oh,
not getting up
and
for
that's
that.
Iron Man.
That's Iron Man, directed by Jon Favreau, who does a
It was
fantastic
amazing. It was
And of course,
fantastic.
they had to give you Black Sabbath at the end.
Of
There was no
course.
other way to end this film.
Oh, golly. So pretty good movie. Pretty good. Are we ranking
How
these
did you
at
like
all?
it? Oh, that would be
No.
interesting.
Oh man.
Let's
Interesting.
not.
Well, Iron Man is number one.
Okay,
I know,
yep.
I know where my finals and my tops are, but the middle is going to be
That's
real
fair.
shaky.
Well, okay, we've got a list. Why don't we just pull up the list and then we'll just put a number next to it and we don't have to worry about like rearranging the list at all.
Okay. Well,
So for Iron Man currently, number one.
There
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
currently
Boom.
it has to be.
It
because
has
we don't
to
have
be.
anything
It's
else.
the only one we saw.
I don't think we're going to have a difficult conversation until the 9th of February when we talk about Captain America, the First Avenger. Guys, I'm just going to...
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent.
So what did you make of this movie, Sarah? Obviously, you didn't remember a lot of it.
I didn't
It's been a
remember
while since you
about
revisited it.
90% of this film. No, I really, really enjoy it. I think that this is absolutely a knockout start to what the MCU is going to become. I think that it, honestly, it really, really is one of the better MCU films. I had completely forgotten that Clark Gregg was here, and that just like filled me with such affection and gladness. Yeah, I thought it was great. I think this is excellent. I do think that it holds up 10 years later. So good job, Iron Man. I'm real proud of you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I love this film still to this day. I think it was a great place to start the MCU. I think it is why the MCU has been such a great thing because we started on such a good foot.
Yeah.
Unlike some other movie companies about comic books that do not start on good feet. I'm not
Yeah.
naming names. Man of Steel.
Well, that's partly the thing, right? Well, yeah, I mean, the history of Man of Steel is extremely complicated, but the DC movies have clearly had their, because of the success of the MCU, the DC movies over the course of the last decade have had their eye on the Justice League film, on the
Yes.
expanded universe, right? We want the
Yes.
DC cinematic universe, and they've been building to that in a way that Iron Man only builds to in the most peripheral sense. Wow, that Jarvis credit is buried a long way down.
It
isn't
sure is,
Long
yeah.
way down.
His 2 hours.
Probably
of
never going to
work.
see him again.
Nah.
Howard Stark, Gerard Sanders playing Howard Stark at the beginning of this movie.
Oh, okay.
So there we go.
Interesting.
Himself, Stanley, of
Nice.
course. Stan's
Herself,
girls.
Zoriana
Oh,
Kit.
don't love
But
that.
to be fair, Stanley was not playing himself.
No, he was definitely playing.
They
well,
definitely said Mr. Hefner.
Mr. Hefner. No, you're,
Well, I mean, I
you're
guess that's
absolutely
part-
right.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but I don't know.
Stan Lee playing the fictional Hugh Hefner in this movie. Okay.
Okay, but like Tony Stark knows who Hugh Hefner is, and so he was probably just making a joke. Like I don't think that he would like
was playing
confuse-
himself. It
Okay,
was Stanley.
wait, because if he was playing himself, that means that within the MCU, Stan
Stan
Lee
Lee
is
exists.
a celebrity who gets invited to red carpet affairs where he dresses in a bathrobe and has a bevy of beautiful women around him.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
Because
when
of
you get
why
into
he's in
comic
charge of
books.
Marvel. People go into comic books for the girls and the money, obviously.
Duh, that's why I went into comic books. What are you even saying? Why do you think I do this podcast?
But if Stanley exists in the MCU, I just have to ask, what comics did he make? Because it wasn't the ones
Right.
that they could have predicted the future.
Obviously didn't write the Iron Man comic.
He must
I
have
actually-
just stayed in the romance comic business from the beginning.
no.
That could have been it. Yeah, no,
Wait.
you're right.
You never
Romance
saw
comics are
We have to
huge.
come back and revisit that here in just a moment.
Oh, we're going to read some Jack Kirby romance comics at some point.
Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
Yeah.
What it is that it within the MCU, Stan
I'm sorry.
Lee.
Rigging Best Boy set lighting. His name was Cricket Sloat.
Also,
This person
Best Boy
is
Grip,
Scooby
Scooby
Hatley.
Hatley.
Scooby Hatley's very good. Sorry, carry on.
What was I going to
Did I
say?
distract you with insane names
A
here?
little bit, yeah.
Cricket Sloat is a very good name.
Cricket Sloat is a great name.
Is it better than Conception Gaxiolia?
No.
I bet it's
no?
Gachola.
Gachola?
Okay, well, you know, I don't know how to pronounce things. We
No,
all know
I'm sorry.
that.
I'm
on the
not trying to
podcast.
cut you down. It was just like, anyway.
I'm just saying, I
No,
don't
Stan
know how
Lee
to pronounce
exists
anything.
within the MCU, and what
Okay.
he does is he writes comics that are adaptations of the true stories of the Avengers.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's how it is in Marvel Comics itself. Marvel
Yes.
Comics
Yeah,
exists,
and
they're
it's
just
in the
adaptations.
MCU too. Haven't we? We've seen comic books of the Avengers, particularly in the wake of the Battle of New York. We've seen comic books containing these heroes.
I don't know if we've seen comic
We
books.
saw
We
action
certainly
figures.
we definitely saw action figures. We did see comics about the X-Men in Logan, but of course that's
Right.
separate.
Not the
but
MCU
not,
yet.
I mean, Disney owns it now, so are we worried about that? Are we worried about Disney
Hold
owning
on.
everything?
Production assistant nicknamed Sour Churros.
I think it's sour chords. I think that was a D.
The font that they've chosen here is not the most legible.
I mean, could be
Still,
sour churros.
That person
I
could be
like
called
sour
Lloyd or
churros.
could be
Yeah.
called Loya. I'm not sure. Either way.
How did they
Okay,
do that?
here's what I
Mark
wanna do.
Fish Bialuski,
Over the
Paul
course-
the Wall
On
Catapon,
the
Nice.
wall.
Catapano is a very
Greg
good surname,
Newt
too.
Newton.
I want, over the course of the next couple months here on the Excelsior commentaries, to build a cohesive timeline for Stan Lee. I want to believe that all of these characters are the same characters.
Okay.
And he's just having an adventure that we've never seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what I want.
it's been confirmed by Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that he is something.
He's
Right,
some sort
of course, he's a
watcher
celestial or a
something.
watcher or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
something.
okay,
He's not
cool.
necessarily a
All
watcher,
right,
but maybe he
all
works
right.
for the Watchers. He tells the Watchers stories. He's an
Okay.
informant,
And one
perhaps?
time I was a FedEx guy.
So it may also just be true that in our
The
real
caterer
world,
for this film was Tony's Food Service,
Thanks,
which I
Tony.
feel is apropos.
that surname, is it hyphenated? Mr. Food married Ms. Service, and they just hyphenated to Food Service?
No.
And had their little boy, Tony?
No.
He went into the catering industry
No.
because why wouldn't you?
What are you doing?
A bit. A
Trying to
stupid
do a bit.
to pass the time until we get to the post-credit sequence here. Right, so the theory goes that Stan Lee is actually a Watcher or a Celestial or something in the real world too.
Like in our world?
Yes, in our world too. He jumps from world to world. This is a whole, Earth Prime Superboy punching the walls of
And
reality.
is that how he's able to be in
Still alive?
Yes, first of all. And also movies that are owned by different properties. Like that's
Yes,
how
exactly,
he's in
exactly,
the other
yes,
Spider-Man
yes,
films
yeah.
is because he is a dimension hopping
That's how Disney's going to do
it.
it. That's how Disney's going to do it. 2021, Stan Lee, the movie, uniting all of your favorite fictional universes. Turns out, dude was in Lord of the Rings, too. We probably own that by now. It's 2021, and I'm speaking in a Disney voice. He's been everywhere. There is only one universe. It's not this one.
everything.
That's this world.
Stan Lee
We're
is
in
the
that
key that
world.
allows us to
We're in
unlock
it.
the multiverse.
Visual effects and animation by the
I would have been
Orphanage
so
Incorporated.
tempted just to include a Stan Lee cameo in the Justice League movie. That would have just been
Wouldn't
so
that have been like okay? It doesn't even have to be
would've
Stan
lost
Lee.
it.
Like
I
you
would've
just
lost
get
it.
like a guy that looks like Stan
No,
Lee.
you get
right?
you get an extra somewhere in the back of the scene who's just referred to by his name, Lee Stan.
I mean, there is a Stan Lee character in DC Comics who was used to make fun of Stan Lee back in the day.
Yeah.
I can't remember
That's
his name now. He
rude.
just recently showed up in Mr. Miracle, and it was pretty fantastic.
I hear such great things about that Mr.
Mr.
Miracle
Miracle.
Oh, Hans
series.
Zimmer was the
Yeah.
executive music producer. I quite like Hans
Just as
Zimmer.
we're arriving at the point in which Jack Kirby's work, particularly his Fourth World's work, has been more important than ever. It's astonishing that we're getting
it was
this
Jack
new-
Kirby specifically making a character about Stan Lee to say that he's just a huckster and he just tries to sell everything and he just steals people's work, and he wasn't far off.
That's a lot of special thanks.
Yeah, there was a
Look at
lot
that.
of special things.
Yeah.
Poster
We
from
are
First
especially
Blood appears
thanking
courtesy of
all
Studio
of you.
Canal Image. What? Robert Downey
Still
Jr.
photo
Suits by
from Tucker,
David
the man of his
August.
dream.
Okay, I got to put my headphones back
Okay,
on.
yeah,
We're
you sure
getting to
do,
the-
because it is time as we get through all of these.
filmed in the United States of America. Iron
This
Man
is the only
the
problem with
movie.
the Marvel commentaries is that we are going to do this every single week. Every single week we're going to sit.
Well,
through
at
the
least they
credits
started
together.
doing mid-credit sequences.
That's true. We'll have something to talk about.
I heard.
Turn this right up here.
Oh yeah!
Well, that doesn't sound like a good
Jarvis,
joke.
are you
First,
okay?
Are you dying?
Welcome home, sir.
Captain Marvel.
Perhaps.
Possibly.
I heard that Brian Michael Bendis wrote the dialogue for Nick Fury here. I don't know how much of that is true, but that's what I've heard.
Avenger Initiative, the singular Avenger Initiative. That's good.
Yeah.
And that's our movie. That's our
it.
commentary track. That's
did it.
our show. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us. I had a great time.
This was very fun.
I have really enjoyed watching this movie with you guys, and I look forward to watching next week The Incredible Hulk.
It's going to be very good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe. I don't know. Is it a good movie? I don't actually even know. Is it all right?
I like it.
Okay.
It has some moments.
It's yeah. I like the first act very much. The second act has things to recommend it. The third act kind of tails off. I'm not really interested in
we'll
the
talk
big
about that
punching
next
fight.
week.
But
Super duper excited
we'll
about that.
get
Well,
to
thank
all
you guys
that.
so much for being with us here as we did this commentary track. We're going to be doing this again up until Avengers Infinity War comes out, and I'm super excited about it. You can get in touch with us over on Twitter. You can find us collectively at Excelsior Cast. You can find me at Elsa Grab the Salt.
I'm at Paper Bullets.
And I'm at Flesh Eater.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week from Common Room Radio. I'm Sarah K. Bazan.
I'm Alistair Stevens.
And the truth is, I am Iron Man.
I believe you. I believe